Tonight's episode of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club is brought to you by Drew Estate. Come experience the rebirth of cigars at www.drewestate.com and download the free Drew Diplomat smartphone app today to discover nearby retailers, RSVP to special events, redeem points to win exclusive Drew Estate merchandise, and much, much more.
This might be a big mistake, but I'm having too much fun to wait. Flag her down when she comes back by. That one's yours and this one's mine. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round.
Here's the suckles.
Good evening, brothers and sisters of the Leaf. Coming to you live once again from the corner of no hope. It's the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. Tonight, the gang takes on the 2018 Nicolas Cage revenge opus, Mandy, while downing pint after pint of La Fin Du Monde, a Belgian triple-style beer from Unibroue, paired with the Morphine Lancero cigar from Black Label Trading Company. Sounds like it's going to be one hell of a good time, folks. So sit back, light 'em up, and enjoy the show.
Triple beer, that means triple the good times. Isn't that right, boys?
Yes.
You promise? You'll have a good, nice Thanksgiving?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Tut?
It wasn't bad.
I did too, actually. I actually do a couple different Thanksgivings over the course of a few days. I'm very fortunate that way. Not going to be one of those guys bitching, oh, I got so many Thanksgiving dinners to go to. So many people love me and want to feed me. So yeah, it was nice. Well, I thought it was nice till the next day when you wake up late and you open up the leftovers and yeah, your family always sends you home with food. Oh, you gotta take some food. Okay, yeah. You get home the next morning, crack it open, and you're like, smoked ham, turkey, maybe some stuffing, mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Oh, green bean casserole.
Yeah.
Half a cranberry log or whatever the fuck that is.
Why don't they just change it to take some trash? Take some trash. Take some
Seriously.
trash.
I'm gonna quote you, Yax. You look into that Tupperware, you're like, what the fuck? Or even worse, those yams with the melted marshmallows on top. What the fuck is that? It's like the day you're supposed to be thankful to be alive, and you eat the weirdest shit that you would never eat any other time of the year.
Yeah, it sounds like something I don't eat.
And everybody's like, oh, it's good, try it. If it's good, how come you only eat it once a year?
Ritual.
You should start a food truck. Nothing but Thanksgiving food. Green bean casserole, yams and marshmallows. Boom. If it's so good, you'll do great. The turkey truck. Only no turkey. Shape the food truck like a big cranberry log, fresh out of the can. Put some wheels on it.
We went to Cracker Barrel for Thanksgiving.
What the fuck?
Well, our plans were like so up in the air at the last minute. So, and, you know,
I thought you were hosting Thanksgiving.
well, what we were.
Everyone got
Cracker
to our Everyone got to our house, and we gave them printed out directions to Cracker Barrel.
We were thinking about that, but we had some
Let them do the dishes.
logistics that were up in the air, so to speak. So we just said at the last minute, screw it. Grandma's not as mobile as she can be, so we just loaded her up and went to Cracker Barrel, along with half the population of Temple.
Oh, the Temple Cracker Barrel?
Oh my goodness, it was an hour and a half wait just to get seated, and then another hour wait just to get your food. It was crazy. They were doing some big business. And
I'm not
kudos to your wait staff, because that was the friendliest wait staff I have ever seen. They were patient. They were just nice. It was
Can't believe
crazy.
we're praising the Cracker Barrel on the Tuesday Night Cigar Club.
It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Well, in good news, I did read, I guess apparently recently, the 90-something-year-old lady who invented green bean casserole passed away. So, good riddance. See her in hell.
I like green bean casserole.
How many times a year do you eat it?
Once.
You don't like it.
I do too.
You know what I like?
It's part of tradition.
Enchiladas, quesadillas, steak, hamburgers,
I like all those.
beer.
Like
You
all
know how
those.
you can tell I like them? Because I pretty much hit them up at least once a week,
Yeah.
maybe once every 2 weeks. You don't like green bean casserole.
I do too.
Nobody does.
I eat it and I don't like it. I mean, I don't mind it.
All right, so note to self: all gifts to Cade and food will be green bean casserole. Cade, got you your favorite.
Oh
If
man.
this is Lipton noodles, you're a dead man.
Hey, do you guys want to come over?
That shit?
Hey, do you guys want to come over
Lipton
to?
noodles.
Isn't Lipton cup of noodles what they put on top of the green beans?
No,
No?
that's French onions.
French onion soup. Sorry. I don't eat it. I don't know. Just trying to keep it real, boys.
Hey, do you guys want to come over for dinner at the Tuttles?
No.
Because you know I'm going to be. Jenny, make the green bean
I
casserole.
thought you meant the Tuttle tradition. We'd be taken to Luby's. I can't wait to see what the Tuttle's cooked up for us. And we're going to Arby's. All right.
They do have the beans.
It's a curveball. Did you guys do any Black Friday shopping?
God no.
Did not.
Yeah.
I spent all day the next day hanging up Christmas lights.
Best Buy was selling a 55-inch flat screen TV. I guess they're all flat screens these days, half price. So I went up there and I had to punch an old lady in the face to get it. But hey, whose tree's it under now, huh? Luckily, that old lady turned out to be the old lady that invented green bean casserole.
Capitalism.
So, you're welcome, society.
Why couldn't you have found the fruitcake lady?
That's Christmas. I'll get into that rant in a couple weeks.
Now we're gonna shit on fruitcake. Come on, man.
When's the last time you ate some fruitcake?
Like whenever they have it out, I buy it.
Really? For yourself?
Yes,
What?
You're a fruitcake.
What?
I am. Love it.
Why? What?
Fruitcake.
What?
Man.
If it's not in a Jimmy Buffett song, I don't like it.
He's not dead
Green
yet.
bean casserole in paradise? Looking for my lost can
I
of...
like mine with French onion
Cream
soup.
and mushroom.
Oh, you can't taste the mushrooms. That's what they always say. Fuck you, you can taste the mushrooms. Hey, you know what? If you can't taste it, how about you just don't put it in there? Oh, it's got, well, you got to... Every recipe that calls for cream mushroom soup, my whole life, they always say the same thing. You can't taste the mushroom. All right, well, what if you just use cream of chicken soup then? Oh, it won't be the same.
Why? Because you can taste it?
Bunch of goddamn liars. Been lied to my whole
You
life.
can't taste that.
Deep state. It's the deep state.
Oh, God. I don't want to hear about the deep state.
I'm a green bean casserole truther. Nobody wants to hear what I got to say. And I didn't really punch out the green bean casserole lady. She died of natural causes. Shame and regret.
Those are indeed natural causes.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to die of at least one of those.
You've been living with it for this long, so who knows?
We'll see. We'll see. Boy. Well, everything worked out in the end. Welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club, episode 84.
Cool.
84.
Hey, you know what
I'm
else?
very thankful for my second family, my Tuesday Night brothers.
Oh, thank you.
I somehow managed to find a group of like-minded man-children just as crazy as I am. So I'm thankful for you guys.
Well, I didn't make this green bean casserole for dinner.
Oh, Jesus. Get out. You tub of crap. I'm sorry, Todd. I interrupted you.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
I don't know. That's.
Oh, yeah. I lost it.
Were you going to pump our Amazon thing?
Was I going to pump our
You told me you're going to
Amazon
start
thing?
doing that at the front of the show. Were you going to? Is that what you're interrupting me for
I
an
think you're
Amazon
right.
plug?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Well, go ahead and do it now.
I was like, you know what? I was hanging Christmas lights, getting ready to buy some Christmas presents. And what do I need to do? I need to go to the TuesdayNightCigarClub.com website, click on the Amazon banner, and then do all my Christmas shopping.
Every time I see our bank statement, I see that little Amazon line item. Oh, it just warms my heart. It
Trickle,
means-
trickle, trickle.
It means not only are you listening, but you're actually listening.
And it helps us pay the bills because, you know, we got airline tickets and baggage tickets and parking tickets and
Well, we're going to buy some new light stands. We got lights hanging.
Now we got to
from,
buy some new
we
light
got lights
stands,
hanging from tape.
a
from
light hit the floor. We have to buy some lights. So yeah,
Please help us.
if you go to Amazon or Amazon banner at TuesdayNightCigarClub.com, click on it and do your shopping from there. It doesn't cost you anything, and we get a little bit of payback for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, please help us pay some bills.
We need to get enough to where it's worth me trying to figure out at tax time how to deal with that.
Oh, I just wouldn't worry about it, man.
Oh, okay. I really need to change the paperwork to where you guys are associated with this whole thing. You guys keep encouraging me just to, it'll be easier if it's everything's on you. It's fine.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. It'll be at least 5 years
It's
before
going
they
to
catch
be
you.
Paul Matafor, or whatever that fucker's name is, just taking the heat for everything. I did buy a very precious pair of dolphin skin cowboy boots with our money. I hope that was okay. Let me guess. The liberal media is going to come down on me for that?
Did it have fringe made out of otter fur?
Oh. I mean, no.
Oh.
It'd be crazy.
I mean, yeah.
They're made out of baby dolphins. They didn't even know what it was like to live free in the sea for more than a few weeks. That I said out loud. That doesn't make it any better, does it?
No, really
No, it
doesn't.
doesn't.
Baby dolphin fringe?
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm actually wearing them tonight if you want to look under the desk.
yeah.
A minute ago I called you guys like-minded man-children, and I meant that as a compliment.
Taken as such.
And, I was reading something the other day. That's when you're supposed to be like, what?
What?
You're reading?
You're reading?
I'm sorry. I'm just drinking this.
I
cry into it. It's
No, it wasn't like a book. I was reading my phone, the news, while I was eating my cereal.
I thought it was like a pamphlet or something.
No.
Light reading?
I am going to move into pamphlets next year, though. It's on my list.
Chlamydia and you.
I
Is that what you're reading about?
heard you couldn't get chlamydia as long as I'm wearing these dolphin skin cowboy boots.
That is a bold claim.
They said it's a vaccine
It's
for
true.
all the bullshit in the world. Put these boots on, you won't have to worry about a damn thing. Except everything. I'll take them. No, I was reading this interview, an interesting interview the other day with Cher.
The Cher?
Hello, Cher.
Is there another Cher? I think
not
Tut
sure.
just did his Cher voice. Age 72. She recently did an interview with Heat Magazine, not the one we read in high school. I guess there's a legit Heat Magazine though.
Oh.
And during the interview, the I Got You Babe hitmaker credited her age-defying appearance. She still looks, her skin and her, basically shouldn't look 72.
I haven't seen her lately.
She credited to her immature nature. And I quote, I'm very immature as a person. Maybe that helps. I'm not dumb, but I still don't think of myself as a grown-up. Even though me and my girlfriends have responsibilities, I don't see any of us as grown-ups, but more like older teenagers. I think having fun keeps your soul young, she explained. You see, fellas, I'm just like Cher.
Except without the millions of dollars.
I am just like Cher.
No, without the $1 million. Oh, you don't have boobs, and I haven't seen you in a thong yet.
You got him there.
Can you auto tune his mic?
Hey, I'm just like Cher.
Sure.
Well, we'll go with that.
Oh, shit. Tut, I'm going to have to ask you to stand up.
Why?
We're going to need the boot of remembrance.
Oh, yeah.
We forgot to grab it before the show started. Oh, God, I hate doing this. It's been a little while. I think Burt Reynolds, maybe?
Yes.
We've actually had a lot of old school filmmakers die in the last week. Bertolucci and... yeah, it's look behind the whiskey glasses, back in the corner behind the tall beer glasses. Take a right around the shot glasses. There's going to be...
That is so accurate.
It's like a little village of... There
That
you...
is so accurate.
Hey, it's sad when you can't find this in our drinkware. Are you sure it's over there? It's
I can't see
literally a giant glass boot.
Well, it's hidden behind the bottles of scotch, the pint glasses.
By the way, this looks a lot like my dolphin skin cowboy boots. They're really small.
Not a lot to work with.
It's extremely painful. I feel like the Japanese women have to wear those tiny little shoes. I might need a foot rub later. For that green bean casserole comment, you owe me, buddy.
Still gonna get you one.
We are filling the boot tonight. This one was a no-brainer. Last few we haven't voted. It's just been like, who are we filling this for? I'm gonna let you talk until you're done talking. Yaks, this is your moment. This is your one of the probably most influential creative people in your entire life.
Very true.
The stage is yours.
We lost on...
So here's what I want... No, just kidding.
We lost November 12th, 2018. Stan the Man Lee. Probably the most influential person in comic books who helped to change the landscape. I won't say he was the only person, but he was incredibly dynamic. You can probably think to yourself and say, like, hey, I remember him from something. Whether it's been a recent movie, show, cartoon, you invariably will know his voice. He was just everywhere. At some point you heard him. You saw something that he worked on.
And I know it's and I'm kind of glad you forgot your Stan Lee notes, because I think it'll come much more naturally from you. But just off the top of your head, can you rattle off creations of Stan Lee? Just to give it some kind of impact. Just to kind of like...
He helped to create Spider-Man, the Hulk, the Thor that we know in Marvel. He helped to bring back Captain America, who had no place after World War II. They didn't know what to do with the character, and as with something that Stan helped to do with comic books was to tie the characters together into the same universe. They're occupying the same city.
It's a brilliant move.
Yeah. With others, I mean, he helped to make the Fantastic Four. One of my favorite, which I literally have it tattooed on my body, Galactus, with artist Jack Kirby. They created that as one of their headline villains for the Fantastic Four. Doctor Strange, Iron Man, X-Men. I mean, the list goes on.
It's crazy. When so much of our culture, our entertainment these days is based around comic books, to just wrap your head around this guy's fingerprints on the biggies. That many biggies? Holy shit.
What do you think of the impact that he's had into our pop culture in our everyday life?
And it's kind of cool that later in life he was, with all the cameos and all the Marvel movies, the younger generations kind of got, because the first time I ever actually saw him on screen anything was Mallrats. He had a pretty lengthy kind of moment with Jason Lee at the end of that, and that was the first time I'd really seen Stan Lee pop up in anything. I don't know if that was one of his first or just the first I mean, in terms of actually... I'd heard his voice many times, radio shows or stuff like that, or just a commercial or something where his voice was that. Such a distinct.
But I mean, my number one thing, growing up for myself, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Before every episode, he was there, and I mean, and it was just,
Was that the one with Fires?
It was Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestorm.
And Firestorm, yeah.
And he literally, I mean, before every episode, he was the most excited person. I mean, literally just...
Hey guys, we got this great show for you
today.
What
a voice. Was he a smoker?
I believe he was for a while.
He had a great cigarette smoker voice.
Yeah, he definitely had the smoking voice.
How old was he when done?
He was 95.
That's a good run.
Good run.
It's a real good run.
So, I mean, he was born in 1922. So, I mean, he made, and there was one thing is, here was a guy that actually didn't want to do comic books. He really wanted to be a novelist. So, I mean, he was a writer, not necessarily an artist.
Well, one of the things I read about him that I never knew, what was his original name? His real name's not Stan Lee.
His actual name was Stanley Martin Lieber.
Stanley Lieber in World War II was in the same division in the Army as a playwright. What was it called? The Training Films Division. Mm-hmm. They wrote the scripts for that. with another guy, Theodore Giesel, who's Dr. Seuss.
Oh, wow.
Stan Lee and Dr. Seuss were in the Army together,
served together?
writing these training film scripts.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
And well, that's the thing.
When
Frank-
you're over in Hawaii
Well,
and you
and-
see the prostitute in the window, walk on past, Joe.
The
Walk
director,
on
Frank
past.
Capra, was in there too.
Mm-hmm.
It was
That's
like
crazy.
Yeah, there was someone other. There was like 4 of them. They're like, holy shit! Like, can you imagine that room?
Well, at the time, they were not really anybody. I
Yeah.
mean, they hadn't. A lot of those guys hadn't created anything yet.
No.
Yeah.
And Stan Lee, that was the thing. He wanted to be a novelist. He wanted to write a great American novel. And that was kind of why Stan Lee was his moniker when he was doing comic books, because he didn't want anyone to associate him.
Yeah. Did he ever write his novel?
No.
Never.
He was actually he started out. A relative got him a job for Timely Comics, which eventually morphed into Marvel. But he, like you said, he started out. He was filling inkwells, sharpening pencils, sweeping the floor, doing basically just being a gopher. And then when things started to kind of fall out of the floor for comic books because there were so many changes going on, he started trying to actually get involved with creating them. He wasn't much of an artist, never, and he said that himself. But he started working on writing because that was one of the things he did. And through a change up, he ended up being sort of like the co-editor. They and he was like 20.
Yeah.
He ended up, sticking in that and eventually becoming full editor-in-chief, and he was like the longest-running editor-in-chief for Marvel. And even after, he retired, he was still basically like,
The figurehead.
The figurehead.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of, God, I read, so many dudes had to have their say, when he passed about, there's so much kind of comic nerd drama about, I guess Jack Kirby and Stan Lee's relationship and, credit and royalty. I don't really care about that tonight. I think the guy, he lived in 95. Like I said, his fingerprints on so many things, just leave it at that. I mean, who cares?
Well, if we wouldn't have the
If you're getting that worked up over
we wouldn't have the people that we have and we wouldn't
comic
have
book
those personalities.
credit inequalities, then, get a life.
Well, regardless of whether you want to say that he took credit for Kirby's work or Kirby had or his artist had more influence than actually he did, and he was just in the spotlight. Well, without Stan Lee drawing that spotlight to those artists, they would have been out of a job. I mean, that's how the industry was.
Is Kirby still
across
alive?
the board. No, he passed.
So it's even less consequential. Who cares?
Well, you want to give credit where it's due, but I mean, still, to try to cast shade on Lee's impact in the industry and then how it transcended the industry and his impact into our day-to-day world,
Yeah.
get over yourself.
That's very true.
Agreed.
I mean, I don't know, one of my things, like I said, he was just dynamic. I still can remember him, like I said, the way he described and going into the stories with, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I mean, just, he was the most excited person in the room. Just listen.
I totally forgot about that till you mentioned it. I watched that every Saturday morning. That was back in the heyday of Saturday morning comics or cartoons. And I totally forgot he introed those. Yeah.
Cody, what did you think when Bill Maher basically said that Stan Lee was responsible for getting Trump elected?
Bill Maher's an idiot. I mean, what did Stan Lee do? I mean,
It's comic books, man.
The
It's
fact that
comic
we
books.
live in a world where grown adults are still reading comics and interested in comic books is exactly what got Trump elected, according to Bill Maher. He's a troll. He's just trying to. The guy died. He's just trying to get
The dude's a huge
to
troll.
get his name
He's
out
a
there.
huge sack troll.
He's just a giant troll.
Stan Lee, he is, maybe people say he, took credit for other people's work, but he was also the person as editor-in-chief that started to make the decisions about, the comic books we read and having characters that
Didn't he go
are
up
human.
against the comic book code
Yes, he
several
did.
times early on?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He's is credited with making characters. Everyone likes to think of your favorite comic book character, and it doesn't have to be Marvel. Everyone loves Batman. Oh, there's Batman movies. But we wouldn't have that tone shift in Batman to where we love him because of his stoic nature, of his below the surface seething anger.
So Stan
Because
Lee's
back in the days, he was a straight as an arrow do-gooder.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I have Stan Lee to thank for all my DC movies being dark as fucking everybody's brooding now.
no, that's just a bad call on.
Yeah, let's not put that on the. He's dead. Let's leave him alone.
Okay, all right.
Well, man, I got nothing hard to say about the guy. I read comics, as you know. Man, I spent everything I had on comics pretty much until I could start spending everything I had on beer.
I still get comics, man.
And God knows Cody has the biggest comic collection I've ever seen.
I'm not to say that I'm like a nerd or anything, but yes, I even framed my first comic book poster. Just
I don't
Punisher.
think there's anything nerdy. I mean, you guys look around here in the corner, no hope, not here, but where the camera can't see. I mean, I'm a collector. I mean, it's like I said with the share thing. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking some of your youth into your adulthood with you. It's what keeps you, it's what keeps you going.
a lot of good memories.
It's what keeps you light in your dolphin skin boots.
That's right, my friend. That's right.
Man, it's weird. It's gonna be weird not having him around. I would have to say, I guess the biggest influence on me personally would probably be, Spider-Man. That was my go-to comic in like a lot of different forms.
I thought you said you really enjoyed Spider-Ham.
What did I say?
You said Spider-Man.
Oh no, Peter Porker, Spider-Ham. I love Spider-Ham. J. Jonah Jackal.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically Spider-Man, but they're all little animals. And Spider-Ham has a little curly tail.
I won't lie, I'm going to have to go see that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse just because they have Spider-Ham in it.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. Why would I know that?
Apparently someone doesn't love Spider-Ham as much as he said.
No, yeah, much like the green bean casserole, you just don't like Spider-Ham.
He's totally in it. Like, he just shows up. Everyone else is like, I'm Spider-Man. Hey, guys, how's it going? Spider-Ham. This is weird.
Oh, man. All right, yeah, we'll be going to see that. I actually bought my oldest daughter they have a not graphic novel, but a book of like the first 10 Spider-Ham cartoons. The comic shop when we were growing up in our hometown, I used to have a box where every month he'd put aside, and I was way behind on my allowance, and he'd get real pissed at me. Whenever my friends would go in there, they'd be like, hey, you talked to Matt Cade lately? And they'd be like, we saw him at school. He's like, you tell him he's got 15 Spider-Hams here waiting for him. So I'd have to like save up enough, like I could buy 5 Spider-Hams, and he'd give them to me. But Spider-Man was like my big, as far as the Marvel guys, that was my big, because when we were growing up, there's like 4 or 5. There was Amazing Spider-Man, there was the Web of Spider-Man, there was like so many
Spectacular
Spider-Man, and I was just into them all. It was just, I thought he had the best villains. It wasn't as brooding and tortured Peter Parker as the movies are.
Yeah.
For the most part, it was just.
The comic Peter Parker is pretty much fun. I like it.
He is fun. He's a wisecracking, cool guy like I saw myself.
I mean, yeah.
Yes, I stopped for laughter there. But who's your favorite creation that Stan had his paws on? The one that's tattooed on
the
you?
one that's tattooed on me. Yes, Galactus.
Galactus.
I love that
Who
character.
they mentioned in tonight's film.
Yes, that's one of the only saving graces. We'll get to that later, though.
Okay, all right.
But no,
Take it easy.
I didn't think
the one
of
that
it when they did that.
Just take it easy.
that I collected the most in terms of actual comic books that I read the most was the X-Men.
The X-Men. You've always been a huge X-Men.
I love the X-Men. I loved the characters and the way that, other than the fact that they were born with their powers, then everybody hated them. But it was one of the things, that Lee and the other people working on it said, this was their take on racism. Why are you hating these people? That guy has powers over there.
Yeah.
Captain America
It's
drank
like,
a serum, has powers, but you're not like, oh, get rid of him. He's evil.
Yeah.
it's like hating the Special Olympics.
Why do you hate the Special Olympics?
I don't. I'm saying it'd be like hating.
Oh.
They're born that way. You can't hate them for that.
Exactly.
I always thought, not the racism thing, I always thought I equated it to, physical handicaps. They're born with these things. They can't. What about you, Tut? I'm going to say, hold on, don't tell me. I'm going to go with
Batman.
the Hulk.
No. And
She-Hulk.
Batman's DC.
She-Hulk.
I know, I was just saying it because I wanted to use Batman.
She-Hulk.
voice.
No.
Baby Hulk.
But I am unfortunately during Stan Lee's heyday, I was a DC guy. I was into Batman.
Oh.
Huge into Batman.
Iron Man?
No, on the Marvel side,
Wolverine.
I was a Punisher guy.
But he didn't create the Punisher.
No, he didn't.
Oh, God. Does he have a Punisher shirt on?
He does.
What are you wearing over that Punisher shirt?
Tuesday Night Cigar Club hoodie.
Where can we get one of those?
Bam! Go to our website.
You sexy bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks nice. Looks nice.
Actually, when they had
X-Men.
Punisher did a spot with Captain America in
He did quite a couple of them.
in the comics Civil War, and there was a comment where Captain America was just he hated the fact that Punisher was around them, didn't want him to be around them, and there was a comment made kind of like in the back of the room where it was like, man, look at Captain America and Punisher going, same guy, different war, and Steve Rogers flipped out. But as an adult, that really kind of, for some reason, just really hit home to me because it is kind of the same guy, same different war. But when you think about it, it's just the presentation of what World War II was, because nowadays World War II is the greatest generation. They did so much great. They kicked the Nazis' ass. You don't see the trauma and the stuff that our grandparents went through because it's glorified today and it's glossed over. But Vietnam and now Afghanistan's a little bit more close to home, so you get to see the PTSD. You understand Frank Castle a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so I kind of see maybe Steve Rogers was wrestling with those same issues. It was just, to me, but that's the beauty of Marvel. Marvel was always one to take on those hard issues just straight up.
Agreed. Anything else, Yax?
And you liked X-Men?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you were Spider-Ham, that's right.
I was strictly, whether you were a pig or a man, if you had spider-like powers, I was all on board.
I forgot about that.
Can you,
All right.
can you guess my favorite Spider-Man villain?
Rhino.
No.
Doc Ock? The Cheddar Goblin.
Think Freddie Mercury with a loincloth.
Tonight.
Oh.
Tom
Gonna
Selleck with a
have
loincloth.
myself.
Anybody with a mustache running around with a loincloth.
Were you a fan of Craven?
Craven the Hunter. Guy just ran around New York City in a loincloth with a... Oh, man. I actually like the Hobgoblin, those little pumpkin bombs.
Yeah.
Turns out he was an old high school buddy of Peter's.
Of Cheddar Goblins?
You know what? I believe we've given... I mean, we could go on all night about Stan Lee, but what we should do instead is...
Let's give a little boot of remembrance.
Let's fill up some of this boot of remembrance for the 95 years. Holy crap. I think that's our longest... That's got to be the oldest guy we've ever... yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Bert was next.
He was like 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, since he meant the most to you, Yax, you shall chug the boot of remembrance.
I shall.
Give it to him.
Yay.
Let's send Stan Lee's ghost out of Capital City. What was the city that... It was
New York?
It was just
New
New York
York.
City, right?
It was just New York.
It's not D.C., it's New
Let's
York.
just send him out of New York City up into the
Metropolis. No Gotham, no Starlight City.
where did Thor and all those guys live up there?
Asgard.
Asgard. Send him up into Asgard, Yax.
Or to Valhalla.
Just take wherever the Bifrost took him.
Let's go Asgard.
Asgard. Asgard it is.
Asgard. 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 He's doing it. He's doing it. Asgard.
Oh, he did it. There you go.
Folks,
Ah, jeez, guys.
the boot. Hey, is that your Stan Lee voice? Super work there, Cody.
Excelsior.
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 Guys, Yaks just chugged the boot of remembrance. Well, we used to fill it up to the top. That was,
We're getting older, so
you
it's
got
a little bit.
we filled it up to about the heel. But still, it's 9% beer.
We got it's 9%.
Which
You did it.
we should probably talk about.
you
Real quick, so we can light up the cigar. Let me introduce the cigar,
Do it.
if that's okay. As you guys know, every episode we pair a cigar, a premium cigar, with a premium adult beverage and a premium adult movie.
This is premium movie?
Moving on, the cigar, the Morphine Lancero by Black Label Trading Company, size 7 1/4 by 42. The wrapper, now I know the lighting's not great in here, but look at the wrapper. It's actually a barber pole. If you hold it up to it's a very subtle, but if you hold it up, you'll see there's two distinctly.
Yeah, I got you.
You
I
are
got you.
indeed correct.
I would have totally missed that.
It is a barber pole with Ecuador Maduro and Mexican San Andres.
My
Two
God, black on black. Who would have thought?
black on black. I was gonna make some weird Stan Lee thing there, and that just was gonna come out wrong. The binder was Nicaraguan Habano, and the filler is Nicaraguan. Safe price point for later. This release commemorates the 5th anniversary of both the company, Black Label Trading Company, and its first limited release, the Morphine. Man, feel that in your hand. That's an oily
yeah,
son
it's
of
an
a
old
bitch.
bastard.
Black Label's national sales manager, Derek Matthews, Mr. Fancy Pants, explained to me in a conference call at TNCC headquarters.
Meanwhile, at TNCC headquarters, Matt
that
Cave is
everything's
with the
comic book to me now. That the Morphine technically is a barber pole, but not for the visual aesthetic. It was done so for the flavor aesthetic.
Oh, okay.
Though if you look closely, you can definitely see that slight difference in wrapper leaf color. Assuming, as Derek said, your rods and cones can percept such things.
Mine cannot.
I don't care for Derek assuming anything about my rods or your rods, but I'm going to address that with him privately at another time.
What about the cones?
I'll talk about you and your cones later. Yeah, so it's the only only the Lancero size is the barber pole. There's two other sizes.
Oh, really?
They are just strictly the Mexican San Andres. So it's just this guy that, man, there's a Neanderthal. It's called the genetic deformity that has the same thing. It's a bar pole, but man, you got to really hold it up to the light and see it. I mean, you can definitely tell. But man, it's oily. Holy shit, this thing's
I actually,
oily.
because the lights are pretty low in here, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to tell. I can see it now once you tell me that it's there.
It has a closed foot.
It's beautiful.
So-
it is. Oh, man, you can just feel that stuff falling.
I almost didn't want to mention the closed foot, so Tut would try to get some cold draw notes on it, but
I did, and I didn't say anything.
I don't know,
Man, the drone, this is totally new.
you haven't clipped your top. The top, it's not a pigtail; it's like a chocolate chip cap on
It's
there.
like a boob.
It looks like, or a boob. It looks like a boob, true believer. How about She-Hulk's titties?
Come on, guys.
Sorry. We have any She-Hulk fans in the house?
Yes.
Uh.
I am indeed a She-Hulk fan.
I'm not gonna lie. Come on, she's a lawyer and she's like Big Hulk.
Oh, is she a lawyer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when she objects, she gets. she really objects. She's got some big Hulk boobies.
Yes, she does. I think that was from the gamma radiation.
When she's a lawyer, are they small?
She doesn't actually revert back to human ever.
She goes on trial cases as the Hulk.
She is She-Hulk
Yes.
like full time. The backstory
What?
is that she was injured and Bruce Banner, because they're cousins, they had the same blood type. He didn't realize the effects. His blood being infused with the gamma radiation.
So
It
she's
basically turned her.
24/7 Hulk,
She's
24/7 Hulk.
but she kept her day job,
yeah.
and they let her.
Got to
keep,
make a living.
They let her keep her day job.
Well, what else was she gonna?
What are you going to do? Tell her no?
Oh, you're gonna say no to her?
We won't let you go in there.
What kind of cases does she try?
Any case she wants.
Can you just walk into her office? No, she picks you as a client.
Well,
Well, she was an Avenger, right?
she was an Avenger. She was also in the Fantastic Four.
Oh, was she?
Several other groups, but
Yeah. Okay. You just lit up, boy. There's some really nice spice on the
Yeah.
light out, like
Yeah.
eye-watering spice.
Nice.
I don't think I had a morphine, but it was forever ago.
I did too, but I think it must have been on one of the San Andreas ones. And you're right, it was forever ago. I like this. You get a nice little tea on the cold draw with just the slightest hint of ginger. I don't know where that ginger was coming
Got
from.
some ginger, huh?
But it was nice. It was very like on the nose in the cold draw. It was good.
I am thankfully, unlike last episode, the draw is not. It's not as full blown open, but it's got a little bit of resistance to it, but just enough to get me a mouthful of good smoke. Like I'm not complaining.
Yep.
Boy, really strong in the nose early on. Don't know if I'm getting the ginger.
No. It was just strictly on the cold draw. It's not, and it was just like I'm talking like maybe 2%. It was so hidden.
Because all I'm getting on the initial things here is just a load of spice on the nose and some earth and chocolate on the draw.
Yeah, I'm getting some earth and chocolate on the palate. Mm-hmm. It's nice.
Smoke production, awesome. It's one of those beautiful smokes where, as you can see it here, if you're watching us on YouTube, the smoke pours out of the head and travels down to the foot of the cigar. Man, it's just so oily. It feels really good.
I know. It really does.
It's
slick. Great. It's great hand feel.
It's got good hand feel. Is that a thing?
It is now.
Yaks, you with us?
I am.
Spice on the nose,
Spice.
earth, nice. I'm getting like a real dark chocolate, like a Coke.
Yeah, there's something there, and that might be it. Might be the dark chocolate.
It was very chocolatey.
But it's like a dark. It's almost like a baker's.
Yeah,
like the line past dark chocolate to like a.
So it's like a little bit bitter.
Yeah, a little bitterness to it. I like it.
Yeah, there's something else I can't put my tongue on yet.
Would you put your tongue on She-Hulk? If you were single.
If I were single.
Yeah. Is she red or green?
Green.
Who's the green She-Hulk?
That is the green She-Hulk.
I'm sorry. Who's the red She-Hulk?
Oh, I don't
There isn't
know.
a red She-Hulk.
There's
a red Hulk.
Yeah, don't do the red Hulk thing. That's
Okay. But there's not a red She-Hulk.
There's not a red She-Hulk.
I think I could probably fool around with red She-Hulk before I fool around with green She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm. As a Star Trek fan, I'm all about the greens.
Green implies to me infection and like.
You think emerald? Mm-hmm. Emerald?
Hey, if green's good enough for Captain Kirk, good enough for me.
I got to go with that.
Well, I'm not fooling around with any She-Hulks unless I'm like in really bad legal straits and I can't afford like the retainer.
What's her name? Jessica Roberts? Or am I totally off?
No, yes.
Wouldn't she have the same last name as the Hulk if they're related?
No.
Well, they're cousins.
Oh, but yeah, it gets
like-
messy. I get you. All right, well, let's keep.
No, actually, one of the funniest things is here. God, what was this? Several years ago, and I can't remember if it was in X-Men. She, of course, being lawyer, she does also represent a lot of the superpowered individuals, especially when they come, because it's very difficult sometimes for them to get representation, considering they just, I don't know, knocked over a building.
Sure.
So one of the, and this was one of the things that I loved because I was like, Juggernaut.
Oh, the bad guy.
Yeah,
She represented Juggernaut.
she slept with Juggernaut.
What?
Yeah. I did not see that coming in the comic book. Like, wow.
Man, they've changed. Yikes. Did he take off that helmet and stuff?
Yeah, no, he got arrested and he was like, He was
I
trying
never
to
take
atone
this helmet
for,
off.
He was trying to atone for his sins, like, hey, whatever. And she's like, she was doing like pro bono work. Look, I'm gonna.
It was pro bono.
Right. And then like she started talking to him, and he's like, He's like,
God, we're a bunch
you're
of
usually
kids."
punching me in the face. You never wanted to talk to me.
How about you punch me in the nuts?
Apparently so.
Hey, can you give me another?
Yeah, yes.
beer here?
Hey, speaking of beers, Yak Boy, this would be a perfect time to introduce tonight's beer.
A beer.
I get so excited when we do Unibroue beers.
Unibroue. Thank God we've never done them before. Oh wait,
I'm going to say it, at least top 3 breweries for me.
They're pretty
They're pretty
awesome.
damn good. Yeah, yeah.
We've actually done, not counting this one, we've done 2 others.
The Don de Dou.
The Don de
The Don de Dieu. All of their names, of course, being French. Don de Dieu, gift from God.
Are they from Quebec? Is that correct?
They are in, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it, Chambly, Quebec.
Chambly, Quebec.
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 Started in 1990
don't know if that's right.
by 2 gentlemen, Sergei Racine
Sergei
and
Racine.
Quebec native Andre Dion.
André Dion.
Oh.
Yes, they have gone on to produce many fine beers. Like I said, we did Don
We
de Dieu,
love the Don de Dou.
was Gift from God, and then we
It was
did
a gift from God.
Megadeth beer.
Oh, that's right. We did their Megadeth beer. And that one was pretty ballsy.
Yes.
But still, what they indubitably, did I use that word right?
Yes, you did.
You know without doubt when you drink a Unibroue beer, you are going to get a myriad of, did I use that word right?
Yes, you did.
Of flavors.
Yes.
These fools are not afraid to pack the fuck out of flavors in their beer, and somehow they balance it out to where everything works. Dude, this is delicious.
Yes.
Oh God, it's good.
Well, the Megadeth
Oui,
beer.
oui. Oui, oui.
A tout le monde.
Two.
A tout le monde.
Le Mans.
Le monde.
Oui, 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 oui.
Which stand for Set Me Free,
Tout
which
le
was
monde.
a song by
Jacques Finet.
no Megadeth.
It was a Megadeth.
Dave Mustaine.
Dave Mustaine.
I'm gonna go juggernaut on you in a minute.
Juggernaut.
Pretty accent.
And this one, of course, Le Fin Du Monde,
Le
the
Fin du
end
Monde.
of the world.
The end of the world. I almost saved this for. There was a Showtime series, The Masters of Horror,
Yeah.
years ago.
Oh,
Probably going on
never mind.
15 years ago,
I didn't
where
see
they
it.
brought horror directors in, and they did each horror director, like Carpenter, Toby Hooper, Don Coscarelli. They do an hour long. It was like an hour. You can do whatever you want. You're the masters of horror. Entertain us for an hour. And John Carpenter did one called Body Bags.
Oh yeah.
Or
yeah.
not Body Bags. I'm sorry.
that
was
yeah.
his old Showtime thing. This was.
That was in the anthology thingy.
The name escapes me right now. Cigarette Burns was the name of his short. And
Cigarette
basically, it was about, well, when you watch an old film on a projector,
Yeah, you get the little.
you get the little burn, and it's called Cigarette Burns. And there was this film archivist, collector of old films, played by Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead, before he was anybody. And he was in search of this film, this notorious film, called
8mm.
La Fin Du Monde.
Le Fin Du Monde.
And the mythology went that it showed one time at a film festival, like in France or somewhere, and everyone in the audience went nuts and started killing each other. And so he had to go. It was the whole hour was him going across this trek through Europe trying to track down this film.
Yeah.
It's a really cool little short. You should.
Cool.
I recommend you
Yeah.
check it out. So I was going to actually pair it with that someday because it's perfect for it.
So you wanted us to watch this thing so we'd go insane and kill each other?
It's gonna happen one of these days.
So
I'll be on trial
We're not-
with She-Hulk as my lawyer.
we're not done tonight.
Tell us about this one.
Le Fin Du Monde is a Belgian-style triple bottle-conditioned golden ale. It was introduced in 1994. The name, of course, for them is derived from the European explorers' belief that they had reached the end of the world when they discovered America.
They were going to go right off the edge.
They
if
were going to
kept
go
going.
right off the edge.
There's still some people out there that think the world's flat.
We don't like them.
I hate them.
So, but this one, it is a
He thinks the world's flat.
No. I can prove the world's not flat.
he's one of those guys.
If the world was flat, cats would have knocked everything off of it.
Do you have that in a poster in your room?
Yeah.
Do it.
Sorry, you actually were talking about beer.
Why can't you just have a little key that says "Hang in there"?
You were talking about beer and manly stuff.
It's your own damn vault.
Back to
If
things.
he
This
brings
is
in cats again, I am going to need She-Hulk lawyer.
9% ABV. Really, objection. Where is she?
I object, Your Honor.
We need to have that stricken from the record.
Strike these. Did he go down? No, you know what, Juggernaut. we'll get into that later. We're drinking 9%. I'm sure it'll come back up.
Could survive that? I mean,
Oh, there's going
he
to be a
is
lot
the
of things coming
Juggernaut.
up.
He's
As he
Juggernaut,
says,
but-
once he gets going, he can't be stopped.
What kind of bed can handle that action?
Actually, the picture they drew, the bed did not handle it. It was
Oh, did
completely
it show
destroyed.
like the legs? Like
Oh, yeah, it was
broken
just-
like,
It was great. Because it's one of those things where, like, you're reading this comic book, like, oh man, Juggernaut's like, trying to hit on She-Hulk. You flip the page, like, oh, broken bed. You sons of bitches.
Meanwhile, Unibroue's listening to this going, you assholes.
would you just talk about the beer? I thought they'd have to go into like one of those like simulators, like anti-gravity, like astronauts going to, and like do it like thousands of miles above Earth, because there's no way like that pounding could. So a triple beer. What do you mean bottle? Was it bottle aged?
Bottle conditioned.
What does that mean?
It means that it was conditioned in a bottle.
That's what I was thinking.
No, what it means
That
is that
sounds good. I'll have that.
it usually means that yeast is still
Oh, it's still developing as it
right
within the bottle.
It is still active. So
I got you.
we're gonna keep talking about She-Hulk for the rest. Oh god, this is gonna be a long one. Anyways, 9% ABV. This is a powerhouse.
Oh, we've done worse. We've done a lot.
But,
stronger
you know,
beers.
surprisingly, it's only 19 IBUs.
Oh yeah, there's no
Yeah,
bitterness.
no.
I figured there'd
It's
be a
sweet.
little bit more.
Do you want to start the conversation as far as flavors you're getting out of this thing? I don't know where to start. Or did they stop the minute you lit that up?
Blah, blah, blah. I can't pinpoint flavors in that.
I really having a hard time. It's floral. It's got some citrus. It's heavy, but not too heavy. I mean, it's very.
It's got a little,
Viscous.
It's viscous is all get out.
opaque.
man, there's like 2% maltiness. It's just present enough
You know
to
what? For a
taste
beer
it.
this color, I was actually surprised at how malty.
Yeah.
It is.
It's enough to taste it, but it's not enough to be a characteristic of the beer. You're right. You got a whole bunch of. You've got your normal citrus and your normal fruit, floral characteristics of the triple that I like. Outside of that, man, you can go all over the place. Coriander, a little bit of ginger as well. I mean, a little bit of lavender either. I mean,
actually got a little bit of the coriander.
there's lots of stuff going on in this beer.
But man, they just balance it so well. With I don't know. I'm just picturing a bunch of guys in chef hats from Quebec, just man, I'm loving it.
Le poisson, le poisson. Put a little bit of more coriander.
But it's consistent. The first beer tastes just like a second beer. It's not. They've got their science down to a science.
Yes, they know the sciences, and they're very
They're
sciencey.
beer scientists.
The numbers and the letters.
Measurements and I will. So we all like the beer.
Yeah.
So far,
It's you need another one.
I do.
It's delicious. Real quick, while you were talking, I just got a really great Nicaraguan tobacco mineral note on the Retro Hail. Have you gotten that yet?
I think that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
I've been chasing down the third flavor on my palate, and I cannot isolate it yet.
I'm just getting a really nice coffee on the Retro Hail now. It's showed up a little bit. Mineral. The spice is still hanging at the top of my nose. And then just earth and chocolate on the draw. Man, yeah, I'm liking it. Yeah?
I would have to agree with that. Before I lit up, I mean, it was just it. I really wasn't like detecting anything like hay or anything, but it was just it smelled like had a sweetness.
There is a
aroma. I
sweetness
could not
to it.
figure it out.
And I told you guys,
And it's, I mean, not to say like it was sugar or anything, like like you said with the chocolate. It's not
little
chocolate.
bit of
It's
ginger.
like baker's chocolate. It's that sweetness.
he's saying it's the ginger. Yeah, when I held all
Not
3
the ginger.
cigars, we're smoking a night up to my nose. I mean, I'm factoring that aroma into my aroma score, which usually, we do the aroma, the actual smoke one, because it just smelled like I just reached into Nicaraguan. I marched up the volcano and reached in and grabbed the soil, and they just smelled
You
amazing.
took the picture in the field with the leaves.
Oh, big time. No shirt on, smelling tobacco, She-Hulk between my legs. It was just that moment you always dream of, I can say that because she's fictional. She doesn't really exist.
Okay.
I mean, she was down taking the picture of me holding the tobacco.
Is that what you meant? You
84 episodes. I'm going to get in trouble for talking about She-Hulk.
All right. Well, this
innuendo.
is a good spot for me to request that we take a little bit of a break so I can go to the She-Hulk room. I mean, the
do we have a She-Hulk room?
little boys' room? Wait.
Go into the door and mark Juggernauts.
Gotcha. Juggernauts.
You don't want to go in the She-Hulk door. Tut, we can edit out that part about you using the little boys' room.
Oh, okay. No, I went to the Juggernauts room.
That is the little boys' room.
Oh, damn it.
Cody and I used Juggernaut's dad's room. Did he ever have a dad in the comics?
Yes, he did.
I think it was like 5 foot.
They thought of everything.
140.
Oh yes, that's one of the reasons why the Juggernaut was the way he was, because his dad was incredibly abusive.
He was a Juggernaut.
So
Can you
he
imagine
was-
that guy being a soccer dad, like on the weekend? Like, shit.
Actually, I think Juggernaut would be kind of a cool dad. He'd be a horrible parent, but, he'd be a cool guy to hang out with.
Actually, that was one of the reasons the Juggernaut. He had tried to clean up his act, but then there was this
What's
little.
he gonna do?
Well, there was a little mutant.
He's like 10 feet wide,
Construction work?
and 4 feet tall. Work at Home Depot.
On a tunneling crew.
Oh yeah, he did have tunneling
Well, I
capabilities.
didn't say he tried to go.
But no,
and,
that was
do
Ram Man
normal
from
things,
He-Man.
But he tried to clean up his thing. He tried to clean up his act, and he was actually
Got clean, got off the drugs.
No, he still had the crimson gem of Sidorak stuck in his chest, making him the Juggernaut. But there was a little mutant boy. He was like a little fish boy. Anyways, he was like a little he was like a fish kid. Anyways, his dad was incredibly abusive. Juggernaut went over to the kid's house, saw that the dad was literally just pummeling this kid,
Yeah,
which reminded him of his dad.
right.
And of course, he's the Juggernaut.
It's
Oh,
all.
and then She-Hulk represented him in the
and
trial.
he basically grabbed the dad
And Luke
to
Cage
tell
too.
him he needs to stop,
Like Luke Cage.
but he's the Juggernaut. And so when
Like
he
Luke
grabbed the
Cage,
guy,
he killed him.
he
Luke
basically
Cage stole this line.
Is that why
Yes.
he was on trial and
Yes.
She-Hulk represented him?
Yes.
And did Juggernaut end up raising Fish Boy?
No, Fish Boy died.
How'd he die?
I can't remember everything. This has been a while.
He was killed in the bar.
Juggernaut accidentally stepped on him when he was walking down.
And then
How dare you beat up this kid?
he took out his
Oops.
sorrows by
Yikes.
Lifting a glass.
Oh, is Juggernaut a
Fin Du
boozer?
Monde.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, I don't know much about Juggernaut.
Juggernaut has been
And
one
I'm
of
pretty
those
sure,
characters.
Tut, I get him confused a lot with Ram Man from He-Man. They look a lot alike.
They
Well,
do.
Either that or Man at War.
No, that's Man at Arms.
Man at Arms.
He
Sure.
looked nothing like it.
Oh man.
He had a cool stash.
He did have a nice mustache. Like Craven the Hunter. It's our comic book episode.
I was about to say, we just freaking geeked out.
No, we're not doing a comic book movie tonight.
I wish we can. We could totally improv and
just change
stay
gears. No.
on comics.
No, we're
We
gonna
could totally just talk comics the rest of this show.
Then I would have wasted how many? Was it?
Cody,
It was a 2-hour movie.
Cody,
2-hour movie.
we already wasted those 2 hours.
Wow.
Regardless of whether we have
So
this
much
show
for
or
my
not.
questions on how you guys are going to feel about tonight's film.
Regardless, we
it
could,
had its moments.
we could totally not do this show at all, and it would still be 2 hours wasted.
Shut your trap.
Let's get into this.
I
Shut
couldn't
your
help but notice that this movie has won awards.
People like this movie.
I can't figure out.
Could you guys at least hold it together till I tell everybody what the movie is?
No,
All right, you know what? I'm going to hold it. Tut's not going to hold it. I'm going to hold it over here. Like the Juggernaut was holding.
The Juggernaut was holding Fish Boy. Oh, God. I mean, She-Hulk.
Wrong comic. Wrong comic.
Poor little Fish Boy. Tonight's movie.
Come on, guys.
I still like you, Stanley. It's so bad, but it's so good. Tonight's movie is Mandy.
Mandy.
2018's Mandy. Brand new. Just hit video
Just
on
like
demand.
Barry Manilow's song. It was such.
Do you want to give us a couple lines?
I really don't.
Mandy, you were a good girl.
That's Brandy.
But you're so hard.
That's Brandy.
Oh.
And that was not Barry Manilow.
Oh, okay.
Written and directed by Panos Cosmatos. His only prior feature, 2010's Beyond the Black Rainbow, which I admittedly liked a lot, which led me to this film. He's also the son of legendary director George P. Cosmatos. Can you name what he did?
No, I can't.
Can you, Tut?
Nope.
Well, you both suck, because he directed Tombstone, he directed Rambo 2,
Holy
First Blood, and he
shnikey.
directed Cobra. The guy's an 80s, early 90s, he's an action hero god.
Man, that's got to be a
And his
horrible
dad did these wonderful
That's
things.
gotta be a
and
horrible
we ended up with
Thanksgiving, man.
Mandy.
He's dead.
That makes it an even more horrible Thanksgiving.
Now it's like Fish Boy's house at Thanksgiving. Although if you're to
I'm
believe,
going back to bed with She-Hulk.
if you're to believe the rumors, though, apparently it's pretty much considered canon at this point that Kurt Russell directed most of Tombstone.
Really?
Yeah, there was a director on board originally that got fired. They brought in Cosmatos, and I guess he was more of a kind of a guiding force. But apparently, like, to keep it all together and to keep it moving, Kurt Russell said in numerous interviews that I basically, and that's not really his style to take credit for shit he didn't do. So it's kind of accepted at this point that Russell was, out of three different dudes, kind of the most. But it was the residuals from Tombstone. When his dad died, George P. Cosmatos, Panos took the residuals that he received from Tombstone to make his first film, Beyond the Black Rainbow, which was just visually.
Man, why do I think I've actually seen that.
I may have made you, because when I saw it, this would have been a couple years ago, and I told everyone, especially you who has such a love for camera work.
Yeah.
And look, I made everyone watch it. I mean, it was just an immersive, much like tonight's film, color palettes galore, but it was done for micro nothing, and it just, I loved it. I really, really dug it. And I've heard, a lot of people have been talking about this movie, Mandy. So I was like, you know what? I know because this director, it's going to be a head trip. It kind of morphine cigar. Morphine, take too much morphine, you hallucinate a little bit.
Yeah, I was about to say the cigar ties in nicely.
And the beer for the main character in this beer, this is the end of the world for him.
True.
I think it all works. Still got it.
Well, I know I'm going to give 2 thumbs up at least.
Well,
Which one am I going to give it to?
Let me change your mind. Real quick, before I get into this movie, and we really are going to get into it. God, I'm liking the cigar, man.
At this point, it is chocolatey as hell, man. That's the number one thing I'm picking up right now.
And it strayed from me now. It was going towards the bitter chocolate. It came back to just the full-blown dark, really nice dark chocolate.
And just a touch of that mineral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit of that. I've been focusing a lot on the palate, and it's just nice, rich Nicaraguan, just that earthy, spicy, little bit of leather, just
spice mineral
great.
On the nose.
Yeah.
You got the earthiness, the chocolate. I still
So
get a
far,
little bit
the
of
only-
coffee on the nose too.
So far, the only criticism that I can give right now is that my cigar's a little. I wish that there was a little less resistance on the draw,
Try cutting it just a little bit.
just a little bit more.
Yeah, because like I saw where you cut right underneath that chocolate chip
Yeah.
cap of it. I went ahead and cut just a little bit lower than that, and it made a world of difference. Just clip it a little bit more, and that for me that's all I needed. I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot, and I think it's going great with the beer. That beer is just phenomenal.
It's a very tasty cigar.
All right. Well, I shall come back. All right, boys. Mandy, as I pour myself another goblet of beer.
Goblet.
We open with a quote on the screen in red text. When I die, bury me deep. Lay 2 speakers at my feet. Wrap some headphones around my head and rock and roll me when I'm dead. Did you guys look up where the quote was from?
Nope.
Well, that's why I do what I do. I knew you guys wouldn't.
Albeit, all I could hear was Mako's voice reading it like Conan.
It does not assign credit to the quote, but I did a bit of digging. It turns out that those were the final words of Douglas Roberts, who was convicted of kidnapping, robbery, and murder here in Texas and executed in 2005. It's kind of a random quote.
And that just sets the tone for this entire movie.
The red opening credits then run over aerial footage of a dense forest set to a mystical King Crimson
This
tune.
I recognized.
Didn't your business partner like King Crimson? He likes Yes and all that kind of stuff, right?
He likes Kansas.
Prog rock, as they call it.
He likes Kansas.
I think it's prog rock.
Sticks.
No, he probably likes King Crimson then. It's definitely a unique kind of genre of music.
It's all right.
I dig some of it, sure. We settled down on a group of lumberjacks finishing up their work for the day. One of those lumberjacks being Red.
Oh, Red.
Played here by the one and only Nicolas Cage.
All right.
84 shows we haven't done a Nick Cage movie.
No, we haven't. So I'm on board at this point.
Okay, well, let me know. I'm on board too at this point.
I'd only be on board if he was going to do something crazy.
Oh,
What?
Wait for it. Won't have to wait long. They're helicoptered out of the job site, and Red climbs in his Chevy Blazer. Was it a Blazer?
It was
I think it was a full size.
Oh, it was
yeah.
a sweet, sweet Blazer.
Yak Boy drove us around in his Blazer.
We're set in what, 1983?
1983.
A3, Red drives away through the shadowy mountains. It never says it, but I'm guessing this is California.
I'm guessing this is like
Oregon, maybe.
Yeah.
Pacific Coast. As he's driving, though, you hear Ronald Reagan delivering a speech on the car radio. It is 1983.
Yeah, in a very bad where they chopped up Reagan's speech to space it out a little bit.
It was a little bit. I think it was like coming down on pornography and the arts a little bit.
It was funny because, like, it wasn't. At first, I just thought that they were just throwing flavor in there, which that was fine. But then when he clicked off the radio, I'm like, oh, that was supposed to be one continuous speech that we were listening to, because it was obvious. It was like ambience, pause, no ambience.
Yeah.
Ambience, y'all just split it up.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that. But yeah, he doesn't like what Ronnie's saying, so he kills it. And he finally arrives at his awesome cabin deep in the woods. This is no like
Reagan
Evil
was talking
Dead type cabin.
And it does need to point out that Reagan was talking about the great spiritual awakening that America was going through.
That does tie into the correct. But he gets at his cabin, and this is no Evil Dead shack. This is an awesome cabin.
It's sweet.
Huge, giant floor-to-ceiling windows, artwork.
If a lumberjack was going to build his own cabin, this
This is it.
This is
I built it out of a single tree.
It's really all the wood I needed because everything else is glass.
It's beautiful, though. It's a beautiful
It is
cabin.
more an artist studio than it is a cabin.
Correct. Looks a lot like my Uncle Brent's place out in Austin, actually.
Actually, it did. Wait.
Oh, God.
This was your Uncle Brent.
Oh, God. It is just a really cool, very modern looking cabin. His wife, Mandy, is sitting at her drawing table illustrating, and she's happy to see him, and he's happy to see her. They soon make he looks at her drawing that she's been working all day, and then they make their way to the bedroom, where they lay there under the moon and discuss their favorite planets. She's very much a hippie. You can tell from everything she talks about is of the Earth, and she talks about her favorite planet. I think it was Saturn, maybe.
Saturn.
And he very much hangs on every word as he rubs her neck.
I wouldn't say that she's a hippie. I would say she's like New Age. New Age spiritualism.
A free
Eastern.
spirit.
A witch.
Yeah, she's definitely free spirit, but she's
We
not
call
like
those hippies.
she's not like
it's a hippie,
flowers in
right?
her. No, she's not like flowers in her
No,
hair.
she's not. She wears Motley Crue T-shirts. And
She's a new age girl. There was like that whole movement
I'm
in
pretty
the
sure
late
it was before
70s,
that was
early
even a thing in
80s.
the early 80s before they really tagged that.
Yeah.
But from the music here by the recently deceased in the last year composer Johan Johansson, it's a great soundtrack. You may not like the movie, but the music really fits it. He's only 48 years old. This guy done a ton of really big movies.
Sorry.
To the constantly evolving color palette, to the cinematography, it's very apparent already in this bedroom scene that we're in for a completely immersive, personal style filmmaking that we don't do a lot here on the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Bikini Car Wash.
Was a
personal,
and let me I do want to couch this is that no matter what else I say, I respect this film for what it tried to do. I respect the artist for what he did, and I respect
Well, good on you.
us going after this film.
Good on you. I agree.
That said, I will disagree on the soundtrack. I thought it was droning so fucking
it did,
much.
but then later it gets into guitars and it.
You lost me.
Okay.
It was an hour of.
I thought it fit the visuals. I thought if you went with like the trendy thing to do now, a synth score, it wouldn't have worked. I thought if you went with an orchestral score, it would have seemed completely out of place. I thought this guy's kind of minimalist, like you said, kind of drone.
But give me some space to come up for air. You did.
Well, that's on the director.
Yeah, I mean, it was just straight up. You
felt suffocated
for an
by the music?
hour.
You felt suffocated by the music?
It was
Okay.
way too heavy.
Okay, I actually enjoyed the score, which is well, we'll get back to it. This Mandy and Red spend the next day out on the lake. He fishes, she draws in the canoe.
Can we talk about this actress?
I'm getting there.
Okay. Because once I get there, I've pretty much said
I'm
all my
getting there.
positive stuff, so I can cash out for the rest of this podcast.
Oh, you have positive things to say about the actress?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on so different pages here. Okay, we'll get there. And then at night, after a day on the lake, they lay by the campfire on the shore. No matter what she does, he's just awestruck at the beauty that is Mandy. His face, his expression just exudes love and almost I can't believe you're with me
Yeah.
kind of thing. And Nick Cage sells it without saying a goddamn word. I mean, I just see it in his face like, I can't believe I have you.
Yeah.
And the fact that you read the same thing without it ever being said, that's masterful, man.
Cage is a good actor.
That type of awareness delivered so subtly by one of, I think, everyone would say one of our most interesting leading men out there today. I mean, nobody is doing what he's doing. And Mandy, played by, here we go, Andrea Riseborough is her name, isn't your typical beauty by a long shot. In this film, she's very plain, makeup-free. She's got long, unkept black hair, pale, translucent skin. I mean, if anything, the way he looks at her, she looks like some chick we'd see at open mic night at the pub with her guitar, just like doing Smashing Pumpkins covers.
There's pretty people at O'Brien's open mic night. This girl is an interesting...
Oh, I thought you were going to say something positive about
Oh,
her.
I am.
Oh, okay.
So I was trying to describe this chick to my wife, and I was like, it was such an interesting cast because here you have Nicolas Cage, and you need to cast a wife for Nicolas Cage, and you cast this woman. And
You think Bruce Willis is okay in this casting choice?
No.
Oh, hell no.
This woman is just, man, she has got
Thing is,
such...
though, if you look her up on IMDb, she's attractive.
Oh,
She's
is
a really
she?
beautiful looking
Oh,
chick.
she
Wow.
is
She's
gorgeous.
gorgeous.
Oh, my God, because she does not look gorgeous.
Because
in
well,
this.
they did something here, and I couldn't figure it out because I'm looking at her like
I told my wife that I was like,
it,
all right,
it
so
was like a pairing here because I'm like normally the stance has always been you take the guy and he's average,
Michael
he's
Douglas.
subpar.
And it's like, who do we
And
get
then
to be
you,
Michael
like,
Douglas's
give him,
wife?
like,
He's
a
80.
gorgeous
30-year-old Anna Faris. All right.
Well, this is the instance where you see, Nick Cage character, the lumberjack coming home. You expect him to have as semi-attractive.
No, you expected to
girlfriend?
see hot.
And then this woman walked. You're like, I was immediately like, what?
She looks
I
like the
know.
girl from The Ring who crawls out of the well.
Yes, she does. No, she does. And I was
Only she's dry. She's not soaking wet all the time.
I was telling my wife. I was like, all right, so imagine a girl that's like one sandwich shy of pure anorexia. She's like maybe 85 pounds.
Yeah.
She's tall. She's lanky.
Well,
she's got
the
long,
one thing I
straggly
couldn't figure
hair.
out.
But if you take right above her eyebrows to just below her jaw, she's got a very beautiful face. And she's got interesting eyes. But the rest is just like this real pale waif. And so Jenny was like, so basically she's the opposite of a butterface?
Yeah, sort of. She's a butter body.
I'm sorry, I cracked up at that. That's my wife. High five. But no, and it was funny because she was like, so did you like her? I was like, yeah, I would totally cast her. She is such an
She would have a
interesting
giant
look.
scar across her face. Though.
But
Well,
I
you know,
thought that
that-
was interesting
there's
too. She is
something there.
so interesting in this.
And that's what I was like.
Or her look is.
This
Yeah.
is one of the things. Like, what's going on here? I'm trying to figure it out. Because
Well, you do learn through her when they lay together at night. She tells a lot of stories. She had a very fucked up childhood. Sounds like her dad was very abusive and all this. What I love about this movie is they don't go too far.
Yeah, they don't go.
They don't-
also, I couldn't
especially-
figure out. I couldn't
especially-
figure out why she
Kinda
was
wish
so
they
pale,
would.
considering she had nothing but windows in her house.
Well, she spends all day out on the lake in her house.
Certainly, she must get some sun.
She's a vampire.
Her acting, yeah.
But yeah, it was very definitely cast on visual. She's what I saw. She wasn't a good actress.
No. Thankfully, she only has about 15 lines.
Well, then we go the next day. During the day, from what we can tell, Mandy sits in bed reading fantasy novels about dragons, primordial ooze, all that
Alright,
stuff
yeah.
Tut likes,
Come on, Mandy.
all that and whatnot. These books lead her to take long walks through the forest, which through the director's lens are very hyper-realized. Rich reds and purples, colors just dripping off the trees, heavy use of slow motion, dissolve after dissolve after dissolve.
Well, I'm thankful they don't do that anymore after this scene.
You assholes said no more TNA. You assholes said no more TNA movies. No more. No more boneheaded.
Who said no more TNA?
No more boneheaded horror movies.
No.
Did you say this?
No, I said no more boring movies.
Well, here we go.
This is not.
This movie isn't boring.
Oh, yes, it is.
Well, Mandy
It's
likes it
2
here in
hours
the
of
forest.
boom, boom.
Mandy loves it in the forest. It's secluded. It's peaceful, or at least it always has been until she encounters an old '80s
I
van.
thought Mandy was his name. His name's Red.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God.
Whatever.
Credibility. X that out. Can I get She-Hulk in here?
Please, we need a ruling.
Give me a couple of more Le Fin Du Monde.
Yeah, well, a van. She's walking home from one of her sessions out in the woods, and a creepy '80s cargo van containing a motley crew of complete weirdos drives by.
And we get to see one of those impeccable title cards just flash up on the screen.
Is this
Children of the New Dawn. These weirdos are in a cult, and they call themselves that, the Children of the New Dawn. We join them later at their motel, and the leader, Jeremiah Sand, is lying in bed where he's trying to explain to an older white-haired lady, Mother Marlene,
I like her.
that there's nothing she can do for him. She's like, what can I do for you, Jeremiah? What can I... Nothing. He's still thinking about Mandy, who they passed by earlier in the van. He can't shake her.
He loves her. He wants her. He covets her.
He can't stop visualizing Mandy. He feels naked without her, and it's fruitless to try to explain it to Mother Marlene. Her inability to understand actually worries him, because if she's not on the same page as Jeremiah, she'll be unable to ascend.
Can't ascend without Jeremiah.
He screams at her to get lost and fetch him Brother Swan. I love this guy, Brother Swan.
Brother Swan rocks. Yeah.
His loyal subject, Brother Swan, appears, a mid-50s guy, and Jeremiah instructs him to go get the girl he saw in the woods. I need her, and I need her now. And you're to use the Horn of Abraxas. It's an ancient relic that they have in their possession that will help them get Mandy. Oh, And Jeremiah also directs Brother Swan to offer their chubby, they have this little tag-along cult member, this little chubby kid, as a sacrifice to seal the deal. Offer them the porker, he says, which makes Swan giggle. That lard ass couldn't see his nose in the mirror. These little comedy bits are so out of tune with a lot of things, it works for me. It's so off kilter that
for me at all.
I liked it a lot.
I didn't even think that was funny.
Oh, before Swan runs off, though, Jeremiah tells him, send in the youngish Sister Lucy into the bedroom. I know enough about Colts to know what's going to happen there. Speaking of Sister Lucy, our friends over at Drew Estate have a unique cigar called the Juicy Lucy.
What?
Y'all know that?
Yeah.
It's a cigar in the Laroutin line, which we just learned a lot about at our trip to the Louisiana Barn Smoker a week or two ago. But forget the Juicy Lucy, because tonight I want to talk briefly about Drew Estate's Herrera Esteli Miami line.
Oh,
yeah. The Herrera Esteli Miami is crafted by Level 9 rollers from Cuba at the El Titan de Bronze on Calle Ocho in Little Havana, Miami, Willie Herrera's family factory, and the oldest remaining Fabrica in Little Havana. Like the short Corona size featured back at 2016's IPCPR trade show, the complete Herrera Esteli Miami line is expertly crafted with a lavish Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro wrapper over a rich Ecuadorian Sumatran binder with select fillers from the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. The new look of Herrera Esteli Miami features a black and gold color tone and is only available to Drew Diplomat retailers in 5 now Vitolas. Before it was just the 1, now we got 5. Seek it out, folks. You'll like it.
all right.
You liking that cigar, Ted?
I am liking this cigar.
Me too.
I'm actually getting a bit of... It's weird because normally I only get like tea, an essence of tea on the cold draw.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting it off of the retro on here. It's like the back of the palate, beginning of the retro. It's a little bit of that green tea right there. It's got a nice little complexity to it, but it's still giving me all the great Nicaraguan crap that I love.
It is, man. I'm still getting that really nice burn in the nose. I'm getting the mineral. Excuse me. The coffee's kind of died down on the retro for me. I'm still getting earth and chocolate on the front, but there is something else there. I don't know if it's
there is, and I haven't. Well, I've isolated that, but there's still a third flavor on the palate that I am still tracking down, and it's distinctive. I know that
it is so hard in a lancero format, because you're dealing with such a limited ring gauge to get those kind of transitions and that complexity. And so far, there have been some little nice transitions, but complexity-wise, I mean, we're about halfway, not even halfway.
I think one of the things that you're going to get with, that transition, especially on a lancero, if your wrapper is influencing a lancero more than it is on other bigger gauges, you've got that nice little barber pole flitting through there.
I think that was a really smart move on their part. Yeah. Just gives you one more avenue to change things up. Sure.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where...
And there is an ebb and flow to this.
And maybe that's where I'm getting that coffee come in and out. That's a good point, Tut, because maybe... I get that coffee a lot with the San Andreas. Yeah. Maybe that's coming and going. And
that's I think that's right. And I think that one of the things that I like about it is that it's not a huge transition. It's not like, here is transition A. It's a nice little ebb and flow to these flavors that are just kind of dancing in and then dancing back out, dancing in and then dancing back out. It's a well-crafted
It could very well
cigar.
be the barber pole done right. And I like that it's a barber pole because they're all the rage now. I do like that it's a barber pole done for flavor as opposed to visuals.
Visuals, yeah.
Because I think that...
And I will say this, I have a lot of problems with barber poles. Usually they're not... I'm sorry, 9 or at least 8 out of 10 barber poles that I have, they look cool, but then they start fraying and then they just fall apart. And I think the Oscar was like the first one that I had. That
we love that Oscar barber pole.
It held together. It was constructed great.
Yeah. This
is constructed like a beast, man.
It's actually constructed on. Like we said, if you didn't really examine it, I wouldn't even know it was a barber pole. But it is.
I didn't know it until you pointed it out.
It is explaining a few things. I'm really enjoying the smoke, and it's going great with the beer. This smoke really benefits from a strong beer, I think.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, if you want to go in and preemptively get me another one.
Well,
I'm not quite ready for it, but I will be ready for it in a few minutes.
the things I do for you.
And that also gives me a time because I do want to mention the fact that we went to Louisiana.
I mentioned in the Drew Estate spot, we
You
did
missed
just
it.
return from the Louisiana Barn Smoker. Boy, one of my favorites this year.
Oh
Yes.
my God, that was so fun. That was such an interesting place.
If you go to only 3 barn smokers a year, we've been to all 5 this year, make this in your top 3. I'm not ready to put it above Pennsylvania.
I'll put it
And-
above Pennsylvania.
Will you?
I will, because of the strength of
Ownership,
one because of the uniqueness of the
process.
process.
What they do there.
The way that they handle the Perique tobacco is just
Yeah.
really, really
I
interesting.
give a lot of credit, though, to Mark Ryan,
and
the
then
owner.
2 is the strength. And Mark is just a great character. Go talk to him. He loves to talk to you, and he'll just come out. He's a great storyteller.
He opened
will
his
just-
doors, but the knowledge that he's got about this unique Perique tobacco and its history dating back to the Native Americans, everybody just hung on every word that Mark said through this thing. Keep checking Drew Estate. They're going to have some of our videos on there. It was a fun trip.
It was great.
Absolutely.
It was a beautiful place on it, and what I liked is that, we're sitting there filming these stations, and I'm watching the people that work this place. A lot of times we'll go to this, and you'll see the people behind the scenes, but they don't really interact.
Oh,
Here,
man.
they're shoving a handful of tobacco in your face.
All of Mark's staff there was just totally into having us all there, and just really. I was walking around by myself just doing some filming, and one of his employees grabbed me and was like, "This is what you need to see."
Yeah,
he started opening up
Starts peeling that
barrels of tobacco, getting the juices out there.
I didn't even see any of that until I get back to the editing room, and I'm like, that motherfucker saw a cool show.
Holy shit, Kate actually got some good footage for once.
It was great, but it wasn't just like you, because I was watching them
They
interact
were
with
doing it with
everybody that
everybody.
was there.
It was a great crowd. The audience was really into it. It was fun. It was a really, really good trip. We found a cool pizza place. Oh, we found a good oyster place Friday
We found a
night.
great oyster place.
What city was that in?
The Oysters?
Dragos, yeah.
That was in New Orleans.
It was right outside. It was a suburb of New Orleans.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, it's one of those where
go to
technically it's
Dragos and get the
Dragos.
blackened oysters.
Oh, God, they were
charbroiled
great.
oysters? Or
Charbroiled.
Charbroiled. Holy shit.
They were good. They were really, really
that
good.
was a life-changing experience. And then the next night, we drove about an hour to Convent.
No,
the
were
barn
in
smoker was in
Convent's where the barn
Convent.
smoker was.
Come on. Thibodeau.
Thibodeau.
Just southeast of Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Thibodeau, Louisiana. We went to
Thank you,
Pepper's
Jerry Reed.
Pepper's Pizza.
Pepper's Pizza.
Pepper's Pizzeria.
Pizzeria.
Great beer menu. Phenomenal. The kitchen
Dude,
sink.
get that kitchen sink pizza,
the kitchen
man.
sink. If you're in a large group, get 2 kitchen
She warned
sinks.
us it would take over an hour because they have to cook it twice.
It does. It takes a while to get it out to you,
my
but that
God,
payoff
was
is
one of
worth it.
That was one of the best pizzas we ever had.
Oh,
I've
man.
never been in so much pain in my life.
Oh,
Right.
it caused us great intestinal
Plus, it's so fun
difficulties.
because, we're in the heart of Louisiana on a Saturday night. So the LSU was playing, and it
on
was
all 20 TV screens.
There was no different games on
You
the
could
one.
be like, can I get the UT game? No.
There was only one game playing, and it was all LSU Tigers, and everybody was into
Everybody
it.
was talking those crazy accents.
Oh, man, it was
fun.
great. Oh, it was great.
We had a really good trip, and all signs are pointing to we'll be doing it again next year. So
I hope so. It was really fun.
Try to plan a barn smoker trip or two and come hang out with us. By now, I think we got a pretty good idea where the good beer is and some good food. So come party with us. Be fun. Yeah, I am really liking the cigar. Well, the next day, Mandy is working at a small convenience store in the woods.
Ooh,
I guess
getting
she has a little
taste of nuts.
You getting some nuts in your
I'm
mouth?
getting some nuts in my mouth.
Peanuts? Cashews? Pistachio.
Almonds.
Pistachio. Oh, yeah, I think you're going to be right. Almonds.
Yeah, I think it's almonds.
Smoked almonds.
Yeah.
Dry or smoked?
I don't know. Almonds.
Not quite there.
Sliced. Just a hint.
Shaved.
All right, Mandy's working at the damn convenience store. We'll get back to the nuts in your mouth. All of a sudden, She-Hulk pops up. Strike that from the record. Okay. Sorry. I guess she has a little part-time job at this little general store. And Mother Marlene walks in to buy a few things. The old white-haired lady. strikes up a conversation. She's reading one of her fantasy Dungeons and Dragon books and strikes up a conversation with her. And Mandy makes the mistake of telling Mother Marlene that she lives just down the road at Crystal Lake.
Oh, Crystal Lake.
Crystal Lake.
Oops. Probably should have kept that to herself.
Don't tell where you live.
No, and just like that, we cut to later that night with the Colts van parked outside Mandy and Red's cabin. The heavily mulleted brother Klopek. Is that Czech?
Yes, it is. Actually, that right there. This is wonderful. This movie is wonderful in one thing. Man, it draws inspiration from everything.
Where's Klopek from?
The Burbs.
Were they
What?
Klopeks?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, I totally missed that.
Hans was a Klopek?
Yeah. But
Oh.
also,
Did we skip-
this
did-
guy,
did we
if
skip
you
the
really look
horn?
at him,
No.
Brother Klopek, man, he's got a Courtney Gaines feel about him.
Oh, he
Like-
does
he
have
does.
a Courtney Gaines.
He
He's got the
does.
But he
mullet.
was-
He's got the weird facial kind of angles.
He-
I thought
and
that
he
this
was-
might be his son.
Much like Mandy, this guy was cast on visuals. But unlike some movies where you cast on visuals alone, he sells his creepy little scenes. These guys are actual actors.
I was about to say,
And
first,
this is actually one of the scenes where I literally was like, God. I actually,
Oh, man.
I
What did-
laughed.
Okay, wait, no, we're not there yet. I almost jumped the gun. I'll wait till we get. All right,
Okay.
keep going. I'll wait till we get to the
You
van.
trust me, I'm going to get there.
Same.
I know what I'm doing. The end.
Thank you, thank you. Let's go. Wrap it up.
No, Brother Klopek watches as Brother Swan gets out of the van and blows twice into the horn of Abraxas.
Okay, so we are there. I get it. I know.
It's a stone carved. It's a horn carved out of stone, and every time you see it in their hands, there's a green mystical glow around it. And then they wait. But they don't have to wait long. After a few moments, the van is surrounded by a thick fog, and several demons emerge on dirt bikes and four-wheeled ATVs. These monsters wear leather from head to toe. They have nails and spikes sticking out from their skin, their faces. They remind me of the Cenobites from Hellraiser.
It was,
Yeah.
once again, here, like I said, all of a sudden you just get literally.
the Burbs, Hellraiser.
It is Hellraiser.
But
I have to.
I actually like their look a little bit better than the Cenobites. I thought they looked awesome.
And
Yeah.
dude, it was
They were
kind of like
slimier and they were shot darker, so you could just see glimpses of like with the white
Right.
slime on their face. They
Right.
looked creepy as shit.
Yeah.
They did. They actually did a really good job on them, and I enjoyed their look. I really did. I have to stop for this van scene between the old
Swan
guy
and Klopek. When
Swan and
Klopek keeps
Klopek.
rolling down his window.
All right, so you got creepy Klopek who looks like Courtney Gaines, just like, and he's like rolling down the window, rolling up the window.
how long do we have to wait?
Rolling up the
What are we
down
waiting
the window.
for?
And the window is like one of those old
It's
windows.
the 80s.
It's the 80s electric, so you hear the, but it's got a slow motor, so it's like.
I love that scene of them waiting out there.
And then Brother Swan has this just irritated
Oh.
look, and he doesn't say anything.
No.
It's all look based. This guy kills it in terms of acting.
Well,
These two guys, I was like, this is awesome.
Brother Swan is like, I'm having a moment of transcendental bliss. I am seeing.
Yes. I'm glad you guys picked up on it. It's a great little scene.
You could just, like I said, there's one of those where I'm like actually like, I just really wanted him to like to pull out a gun and be like, boom.
I always said, listeners, if you go to YouTube, last Halloween I put out one of my old movies, Underbelly, on our YouTube page. And one of the things everyone pointed out to it was I spent the whole movie hanging out with the bad guys. And I was like, well, the bad guys are always more interesting. And they're always more fun. And they're always more, the good guys are always so cut and dry and boring. I was like, why not spend a whole... I would love a movie with just Brother Klopek and Brother Swan driving around this van.
Oh, and it would be awesome just from like listening to the preacher dude, and just from their perspective, like Brother Swan would be all into him, like, oh, Jeremiah
if
is
they
like
made
a god,
prequel,
and then
if they made a
Klopek would
prequel
just
to
be
this
like,
movie of just how this cult
I wouldn't watch it.
formed,
Well, I would be.
you'd
I just
watch
really.
it. I'd
I
make you
wanted
watch
to
it.
see. I wanted to see the reaction of Brother Swan. Brother Swan, go to that and bring me. Take Brother Klopek.
oh shit!
Damn it, man.
I mean, yes, Jeremiah, whatever you wish. Oh, fuck.
Anything you want.
Steps outside, lights a
Any
cigarette.
shit. Anything you want. But are you Are you certain
You
I
certain
need to
that
take?
God told you to partner me with Klopek?
No, that'd be the best thing is that he would, because he gives that great just. Oh, absolutely! It would be my pleasure.
He is
Brother
the ultimate
Jeremiah.
cult leader henchman.
You are my everything. Steps outside the door, lights up a cigarette. Fuck.
Klopek shows up. We ready, boss? Yeah, all right. Get in the van.
But that was such a.
It's a great little moment.
And credit to the actors both that play
It is,
that.
but it's
'Cause
also
it's not dialogue. You
no,
don't
it's
pick
not.
this
But
up
it's
in
also
dialogue.
a credit, and I want to keep hammering this home to this director because he makes these heady personal films with a lot of artistic flourishes, which I could see could wear on people after a while. But he also adds these little comedic, subtle bits that have me laughing. If the whole movie was shots of Mandy walking around slow motion with After Effects
But
stuff
it
going
felt
on,
that way. It really did.
it did in the beginning, and I was worried. But as soon as this starts happening, I that goes away for me.
To me, no. It
I'm
didn't
sorry, but
go
this thing just
away.
basically turned into a visualization of a prog rock album.
Boom, boom, right there.
Well, you might see it as a live music video.
I explained it as every frame had to be a poster shot.
I'm sure this guy was listening to some record and this thing would sync up perfectly, just like people say that
I'm not saying
Dark
that.
Side of the
I'm on
Moon
record at this point saying
Wizard
that
of Oz
I
go
don't.
together, but they don't.
I'm saying at this point, I'm on record as saying that wouldn't be a bad thing for me.
Oh, I can understand
tell me what
exactly
album it
why
is.
you like this movie. I totally understand.
I
get
wrote
it.
movies like this in my 20s and early 30s.
I totally get it.
I wrote a script.
But I'm telling you, this is boring as fuck.
All right. I'm glad I don't write those movies anymore. Well, Brother Swan gives the leader of the demons a mason jar full of something mysterious, and he takes a sip. And with that sip, then he looks to Brother Swan, and Brother Swan gives him the marching orders: "Go get the girl." Just then,
Blood for blood.
Red steps out of the cabin for an after-dinner smoke. He senses something's amiss out in the trees, but when nothing emerges, not concerned one bit about wildfires, he ditches a cigarette in a big pile of brush. I guess maybe because there's so many fires now.
Yeah, I was about to say it was
Every
the
time,
80s.
like,
There wasn't
while
like
he's
that many.
chainsawing in the forest, and there's like brush, he's like,
He knows the combustion rates.
come on, man, put it in a beer can, something.
It's the Northwest. It's rain. It's rain dense.
Well, Red and Mandy are suddenly violently awakened in their bedroom by flashing blue lights and the sounds of electricity zapping all around them. It's like when the three storms came in Big Trouble in Little China. The demons, the three demons and Brother Swan are now in the bedroom. They knock Red unconscious and they drag Mandy out of the room. Oh, and the demons also take the fat kid, Colt. Remember they're like, give the porker as a sacrifice? It's kind of like a scene from The Fog. He's outside looking in the window,
yeah.
and all of a sudden the smoke comes, and you see the demon just grab him from behind. He's the sacrificial lamb to get what they want.
He's the blood for the blood.
Or I guess the sacrificial fried
Ham?
fried pork, fried lamb chop, I guess. That was mean. Smothered in gravy.
Again,
He was the sacrificial lamb chop smothered in gravy and deep fried
well, yeah.
in this instance.
Again, you had
Now I'm going to get all these fat kids protesting against the show.
you had a great
I also
scene.
get the feeling like, this would be the one thing where they should have been Brother Swan, and I give you a sacrifice. The demons would be like,
You got somebody else?
Again, you had a great scene where Mandy is laying down looking at Red. Red's laying down looking at Mandy. It was a nice, horrible scene.
All their visual connections,
It's-
they sell it.
It's a horrifying scene,
They sell it.
but they hang on it way too long.
There's a lot of time given to them because
that is my number one problem is like there's
judicious editing.
They
could have been
hang,
used.
they
they
hang
drag
on.
through so much.
Well, you get that a lot with personal films. You get that a lot of the filmmaker wants that extra 5 seconds in that actor's eyes of looking at his wife for the last time. You want that. What are you fucking laughing about?
It started at
She-Hulk.
the beginning. It
No, just
started.
thinking
It
back
started
to
at the beginning of
Unreliables.
the movie. I mean, just them.
You want
laying-
another minute of laughter?
That's a different thing. He's trying to compare that to like I need 10 more seconds in this fart scene. It's a little different. No, it's not different.
It's not.
Th-
it
this-
actually is not.
But this is not
It's-
just now. This is everything. I mean, a lot of the scenes to me, I'm
Yeah.
like, you could have cut out
Okay.
3 seconds. You could have cut out 4 seconds.
I
You
as a
could've-
filmmaker, understood why every shot was held the way it was, and I got where he was choosing the way he did. I got it. For better, for worse, I understood.
I did too, and trust me even though I'm just going to rake this project over the coals, I understand the love that went into it, and I respect the love that went into
To
it.
me,
but
that's
at
the
same
equivalent
time,
of going
there's
into a
also
museum and raking a painting over the coals.
No,
This is a personal expression of a dude, and you may not agree with it, but you can't deny the ballsy choices and the hey man, this is what I want to make. This is what.
Well, I can, because you can hang that artist's work in a museum.
You don't have to look at it for 2
and
hours.
I can look at it and go, you know what? That's a bunch of bullshit, and walk off. This, he can do the same thing. And I'm going to, even if I look at it for 2 hours, I'm going to go,
Okay.
that's a bunch of bullshit, and walk off.
Stick with me. We'll get back to that. We cut to the cabin's kitchen where Mandy's now tied to a chair at the breakfast table. Mother Marlene, with her long white hair, tells her that the scary men are all gone. They got what they came for, they left, and your husband Red is fine as long as Mandy does what she's told. You see, Jeremiah thinks that you're so special, and there's a lot of responsibilities laid on you now, Mandy, because of that designation. Mother Marlene then uses an eyedropper to fill Mandy's eye with a few drops of some mysterious elixir.
LSD.
And then, while Sister Lucy holds Mandy still, the old broad removes a wasp-like insect
This is the biggest fucking wasp ever.
from a vat of chemicals. It's almost like a vat of like honey or.
I don't know what this
But dude,
is.
she pulls this wasp out with tweezers, puts it on Mandy's neck, and lets it sting her right in the neck.
And this is a good 4-inch wasp.
Yes.
Oh,
is
it's huge.
just-
I mean, it's a fake. Obviously, it's a.
Yeah, but it's disgusting looking.
Oh, it is.
good
And
job.
it bites her right on the neck, and it sends her spiraling into a psychedelic mindfuck of epic proportions. She's seeing swirling colors, images. Her hands are leaving traces, wherever she moves them. Reminds me a lot of my freshman year at Sam Houston State University, am I right? Eventually, she's brought before Jeremiah and the boys, who are all bathed in this pink glowing light. They're all lounging around her living room, just kind of on the couches. Brother Swan's drinking some tea. But everything is in this really harsh...
Again, I love Swan.
Oh, yeah. But, dude, all this room is just this really harsh kind of pink light. Jeremiah apologizes to Mandy for all the fuss and muss. Very calm voice. He tells her... Oh, I should mention, too... Jeremiah is now wearing a pretty sweet cult leader robe with the big triangular shoulder pads.
Yeah, the big, huge shoulder
Shoulder
pads. Oh,
pads.
man.
Oh, no, man. That's straight up like Spock.
Yeah. Yeah, it is totally the Vulcans.
And in this crazy outfit, he's apologizing to her. I'm sorry for all the fuss and muss, but he saw her in the road that day, and she called out to him silently. He demands that she looks at him, yelling at her, "Look at me!"
You must have you.
And then he takes a softer tone as he makes his way over to the turntable. He asks Drug Duck Mandy if she likes the Carpenters.
Oh, the Carpenters.
He's a big fan. He's a real big fan of the Carpenters. But then he proceeds to put on one of his own records for her listening pleasure. He actually holds up the album Jeremiah Sands. He actually made a record.
Of course he did.
Now, there's clearly a Manson family aesthetic to this cult. But in my mind,
It's also Koresh.
most certainly because of where we grew up, I immediately associated with Koresh and the
Koresh,
Branch
yeah.
Davidians.
Yeah.
Like Charlie Manson, Koresh was also a failed rock musician who, when he discovered that musical superstardom wasn't in the cards, decided to become Jesus Christ, personified.
Again,
That's what you did back then. You didn't
Yeah.
make it in rock and roll, you started a cult. Now you host a podcast.
Wait, what?
Did I say that out loud? Oops.
She-Hulk objection.
Objections!
I'm going to give you guys something else to drink later in the night. Just follow me along with it.
If he pulls out a wasp, Cody, I want you to take him down.
Brother Tut, I'm going to need you to go.
I suppose Jeremiah's probably
If
somewhat
there's fog that kids in this room, I'm out of here.
I suppose Jeremiah's probably a mesh of Manson and Koresh.
Yeah.
But did you guys make that Koresh
Well,
immediately, that connection?
I didn't do the the Koresh, because I mean I didn't do the Manson thing. I saw Koresh all the way, but I think that comes from it was our time, it was our area. You know, it was Texas right up the road.
I'm willing to bet most everyone else thought Manson.
Yes.
You got this
know.
cult
That'd
of
be kinda
this
cool.
young chick.
Yeah,
and
but I
they're
mean, you
following
also
them
had
around.
the-
Like, this is the Manson cult. I mean, this is.
Basically, yes.
yeah.
I wonder if that's unique
Given-
to us growing up here that we.
Well, I mean, given
saw
the
the
time
Koresh.
frame
we go straight to the Branch
in which
Davidians.
that he presents this as it being 1983. Most everything here is being, of course, influenced primarily by the 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
So,
You would have more. Manson makes more sense.
Right.
it makes sense. Jim Jones makes a lot more sense
Yes.
than Koresh.
That's where I thought it made sense, because there was a scene in that van when he first pulls past Mandy on the road. He takes off those Jim Jones,
Jim Jones. Giant sunglasses.
the giant sunglasses. That was
Yeah.
totally Jones.
That was big Jim Jones.
Totally
That's
Jones.
kind of a mesh of all these things.
Yeah.
And make no mistake, though, Jeremiah is still super bitter about his rejection by the record industry and how they couldn't understand. How could they fail to realize my genius? But it's okay, because it all led him to his true path, which is far greater than fame.
I actually thought the record was kind of cool.
It's what he was. You like the song?
It actually was.
Hey, they actually started on Bandcamp before the movie was made. They actually started this song
Yeah.
to kind of like start stuff about the film, and it had a shitload of download. Like
It wasn't horrible,
not a bad
man.
song.
It wasn't horrible.
it's kind of Jethro Tull meets kind of Jefferson Airplane.
And if you see it in the context
with
of
a
this
little
movie, it
James
fits.
Taylor kind
It
of,
fucking fits.
it does. It's great. Yeah, they did their job of making the song that's playing fit the scene, the character, everything. It does work. But he says, this is what I was truly chosen for. So he's glad he didn't become a superstar. This is what I was chosen for. A light shined down on him in waves like the light of pure hate, but also pure and total acceptance. And a voice addressed him. This is all he's telling Mandy. A voice addressed him as a friend and told me as a friend, Jeremiah, they were wrong and you are right, so right. And he blessed me with his kiss. And he gave me his warmest permission to go out in the world and take what is mine. What is mine, my wants, my needs, my pleasures. That's Koresh.
Yeah.
Give me the wives. You're not getting those gates open.
Yeah,
without,
but at the same time, those cult leaders don't phrase it that way.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
No, you can see all the.
Oh, no, this was very.
No, you can see all the documentaries of.
No, you have to finesse it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
What's this called about exactly? It's about my pleasures, my wants.
Exactly. It's not.
Wait. What am I signing up for here? You basically are in charge of getting me whatever I want, pleasure-wise.
Exactly.
It's about something more than that, right? No. He spoke to me and said my wants and needs are all that matters in the world.
There was a.
It is very, very.
There was a documentary
Still
on Koresh to where there was like this one guy,
Seems
and
legit.
and the cult members approach him in like a Walmart or whatever, and then they're like, "Hey, brother, you're looking kind of tired. You should come to our service." Really? Why should I come to a service? Well, you get to basically become an indentured servant to our cult leader. Oh, and any relationship you form, you bring her into the cult too, and he gets to impregnate her. No, that's not going to give you followers.
Look, I was just coming to buy charcoal. But you know what? I'm going to go with you guys. My wife's calling me. Where are you?
look, I just would.
I'm helping this guy get pleasure. His want. God spoke to him. He's got wants and needs. I'm supposed to help him.
I'm just saying.
You're right. You sent me out for hot dogs and some charcoal, and here I am.
Look, I joke more, but the followers in the room with him clearly believe this shit. And there's plenty of people in the real world who believe this shit.
No. That's one thing that's
what's crazy. There's people in the real world that, hell, 76 people died not less than 45 minutes from here because of this kind of bullshit.
To me, that's what's so astounding is that I've never met someone that charismatic that would swing my needle that way.
I'm close.
No, not even close.
No.
She-Hulk ruling. Well, you're sitting at probably one of the most cynical tables on the planet. Do you believe that you can
This is literally the corner of no hope. Good luck finding believers here.
But I mean, just how charismatic does that? I mean, you're talking at least 10 times more than Tony Robbins charismatic.
Oh yeah. I've met.
He's pretty charismatic.
I've met.
He's 7 feet tall. And he
I
will
mean,
hypnotize
you
with
have
his
to be
teeth.
so.
No, but I mean,
you have to be so charismatic that you would have me convinced that I need to let you impregnate my wife as I load my AR-15.
Your daughter. Fuck your wife. Your daughter.
My
Your
wife
14.
and my daughter.
14. Koresh was impregnating 14-year-old daughters.
As I load up my fucking semi-auto and go face down the feds.
Correct. That's big time.
It's kind of like it goes back to Conan and the steel. What is the power of steel? No, we talk about the power of flesh, boy.
And he does. We're going to get to that one because he pulls that out.
Yeah, it does. It's also crazy, but people buy it every day. I've met a few charismatic motherfuckers in my life, and they would never. Hell, we followed one around the country this year. JD, Jonathan Drew. Nobody speaks to a crowd and attracts a throng of people.
That is true.
To meet him and to talk to him. But I guarantee you, JD got up on the mic and was like, "Hey, I heard a voice last night. Tell me about my wants and my desires are above all else. So I want everyone to send their wives up on stage." That's not going to get him anywhere. No one's going to...
I don't know. There might be about 15.
There'd be a couple guys like, "Get up there. It might get me an ashtray. Get up there."
The cigar smoking crowd's a little different. Huh. Is that right? My gun says
I
different.
can just picture Fabian pulling down his sunglasses and just kind of nodding.
He's the Brother Swan. Fabian's totally Brother Swan. No, I mean, again, we joke, but there are people out there that buy this shit every day.
Yeah.
They're missing something in their lives that this is what they latch onto. So
I understand despair.
At no point in this was it like, this couldn't happen. These guys wouldn't be following this idiot. Of course they would.
Yeah.
There's a million of these idiots around the country right now that have people following them in a van that we've never heard of yet.
That's the sad thing. There was never once in this scenario to where I'm like, the cult's unbelievable.
That never, ever occurred to me. You're absolutely right. Well, Jeremiah tells Mandy that he's had the pleasure of being with countless women, but none of them have her radiance. She's a special one just like him, and he wants to be special together. Really? Radiance? Her? She's translucent. She looks like her skin is made of Scotch tape, and she hasn't combed her hair in a month. She's the chosen one? I was picturing like Carmen Electra.
No, there's something...
You with the big boobs and the G-string.
She-Hulk, pleasure me.
Yes! She-Hulk would have been more believable. You got it, boss. This chick, like, there's nothing that says special about this
There's something
one.
about her eyes and her look.
In After Effects, they dilated her pupils this big. She's crazy looking.
She's
But he likes her.
interesting looking.
He saw something in her. Different strokes for different crazy folks.
Apparently so.
Well, he opens up his robe then to expose his wiener. It's just hanging there.
You know, I could have gotten through a lot of stuff.
Hold on.
No, keep going.
His wiener's hanging there, and she starts laughing at him and his stupid song he's playing uncontrollably. Mandy is just cracking up. This was your song?
Or she's high. as
She
fuck.
has been dosed with LSD.
baked.
She's been stung by the 6-inch giant wasp, and she still has enough whatever left in her to be like,
She needs a seat at the corner of no hope.
I would have been more hilarious if she had just like literally broke it.
She kind of does.
She does. She does Billy.
Well,
A female Billy.
Well,
doll.
Jeremiah's reaction is he starts whacking off while screaming at her to stop laughing at him.
Yeah, I could have
that-
done
does that
without
work?
that.
Is that a thing? Stop laughing at me. Maybe if I whack off in your face.
Look, it would all make more sense had it not been
But that-
Bruce Wayne's dad.
Dude, do you know Batman Begins? He's Bruce Wayne's dad. Well, she just laughs
did.
louder and louder and harder and harder. Jeremiah loses his marbles.
It was totally
Dude,
him.
he's screaming at her with his.
I didn't know that.
He's screaming at her with his wiener hanging out, and I think it's a very good time. I want to acknowledge the performance of Jeremiah. His name is Linus Roach. I guess in the TV show Vikings, he plays a guy, King Egbert, is his most famous.
Got it. Yeah. I didn't put the two together. Yeah.
And you're watching it. That's his biggest thing. He really goes for it here, man. I mean, you got your wiener hanging out, but wiener aside, how many times have I said that on the podcast? Wiener aside, he really sells this role, man. I dig him a lot, and because there's moments where he actually is not just a God spoke to. He breaks down like, come on, man, like. He talks like a normal guy. Like he balances like the.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
He's 83 and he's 1853. He found a balance of this leader.
He's not a one-trick pony.
No, he's not.
It's not.
He's
it's not
really,
a one
really
spice.
good. And then the guy Ned Dennehy is who plays Brother Swan, and he encapsulates the devoted cult henchman beautifully and believably. Those two together are magic.
Man, I absolutely agree on that point. Those two actors are incredibly solid, and they do a wonderful job. Acting great, but I guess because at this point we're about 40 minutes into this movie, and it was a slow burn coming into it. Now, first of all, visually, this thing is stunning. I mean, the colors, visually, this movie is just all kinds of cool. It's psychedelic.
It creates its own world. It's our world, but it's a different world.
Yes.
It
Right.
is this director's world.
And they do that whole psychedelic stuff, which, even though I'm going to complain that it goes on way too much and they overuse it, it's fine. You still got to respect the craft on it, but at the same time, between all the visual stuff, between just the constant
So the
my number
score
one thing here-
really, really crippled it for you.
but that, and it's Cody made the mention of it to where like there are scenes, and there's a lot of scenes that just go on for like 5 minutes too long.
Well,
By this time, this shot.
There's a very clear distinction here. Was it scenes that went on too long, or moments? Because like when she's walking through the woods and the van sees her, we freeze on her, and then there's a dissolve where it's her again, and then it's a dissolve where it's her again, and it freezes on her again. That's a moment that's held on way too long.
To me, that's a scene, and that's just
Well,
way
and
too fucking
The
long.
sets themselves, I thought, moved at a good clip.
No, they didn't.
There
No.
were certain
I
moments
felt-
that were hung on too long.
I felt that like
That's the
all
same
I felt
thing
that
to me.
all of these he was giving us these images, especially in the beginning when he's
it gets much less towards the end.
well, yes, but I mean in the beginning there, when he's showing us their lives, their daily routine.
If this movie was all of that, I would be coming at this with the "I'm so sorry, boys, that I brought this
but
movie
I
to the
felt
table."
like in so much.
I
in
thought he
this-
shook that off around the halfway mark.
It still felt to me like it's not. I'm saying like the scene just he could have literally shaved off 2 or 3 seconds on all of this stuff.
He could have shaved off
He
2 or
could have
3
shaved
minutes
off,
off.
and it's not like I could say, "Oh, this movie could have been 30 minutes." No. It was just like I'm sitting there watching it,
I'm just saying by the
and I was waiting for it to end, and it just
Man,
persisted.
you know what? You
and
know
by
what,
the
boys?
time
that
we,
3 or 4
let me put it
seconds.
to this way: by the time we get to the scene, and we're only like 40 minutes, we're not even halfway through this. By the time we get to the scene where the dude's wang is hanging out in full glory, I'm just kind of like, yeah, that fits.
Did y'all think he should have had a boner when he took that robe off? Because he's in his glory, so he's playing his music.
Why not?
He's got her there.
Yeah, why
like,
wouldn't he?
I thought when he pulled that thing off, we were going to see a giant boner, or at least a little boner, whatever
Okay,
boner.
Okay, first of all, no, I didn't think that. But
It would
now-
make sense that
but
he would
now
be
that
hard
I'm
as
doing,
hell.
why wouldn't you see that? Because that would make totally sense.
He's got his music playing, his followers looking at him.
He's speaking. He's
He
just
got the girl that he wanted. He should be erect as a motherfucker.
They talked about. I was watching some sort of like documentary or science thingy, and they were talking about how Hitler would
Hey,
act.
we're classy.
Hitler would
He's
act.
watching a documentary science thingy.
He would act. It was talking about, or it was theorizing how Hitler would actually get sexually aroused by giving a speech. He was so into himself and into his words. So what you're saying is not without,
I expected him to be fully hard when he took that.
but at the same time, I am so numb by this point to where a dude's full Johnson, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, all right, sure.
I'm not numb. I'm still with the movie at this point. I really am.
I'm not. It is
I can't wait to see what's happening next, because now that we have the inciting action of them they've kidnapped Mandy. They're still at her cabin, but they've taken out Red. Like now, unlike the slow stuff in the beginning, now we've got some action. Now I'm like, where are we going to go from here? Let me take us where we're going from here, and we'll see how we do. Cigar still rocking?
Oh fuck yeah! It
Yeah,
is.
it's great.
I'll bitch about this movie for like 9 hours, but I ain't bitching about this cigar.
This I just started, probably not quite the final third. The spice has actually died down a little bit in the nose.
Yeah.
It was there the first 2/3, but it's
Yeah.
gone a little bit.
But you get that chocolate is still freaking
The chocolate's
rocking
still
there.
huge on the draw.
That earth is just
Mineral on the nose.
God.
Yes.
The mineral is still heavy on the nose. Earth and chocolate on the draw. It's a fucking good
everything
cigar.
that you love about a Nicaraguan cigar is contained in this cigar. It really, really is.
Which is weird considering the two wrappers used aren't Nicaraguan, but you got the Nicaraguan filler and the was the binder Nicaraguan? I forget.
I don't know.
Binder Nicaraguan Habano, yeah. It is very much a Nicaraguan cigar, but I think that dual wrapper, the Ecuador and the San Andres. You don't want to say San Andreas because then they're like, nobody drinks tobacco in California, asshole. I think that's what gave
Fuck you,
that nice coffee interplay earlier, which still comes a little bit here and there. But man, chocolate, earth, mineral.
No, because there's a Mexican
Spice comes and
There's
goes.
a Mexican bean coffee that's really, really freaking nice, and that reminds me a lot of this cigar.
The strongest to date that we feature on the show from Black Label, I believe, was Last Rites.
Okay.
I think that was a full blown powerhouse, and we really liked that cigar. I'm enjoying this significantly more. It's funny. Forever, my go-to Black Label cigar was the NBK.
NBK still's mine.
Is that still your favorite thing they put out? Yeah.
Let me count that. Even after I clipped it, I still had a little bit of a draw issue on this, to where it was just a little bit too much resistance for my taste. I mean, maybe it's not, and it's just
After
me.
my second clip, it's been perfect for me.
And this could be just my personal taste getting down on it. Outside of that draw issue, God, yeah, it's pretty damn good.
Putting this above the NBK, huh?
I'll at least put it with.
Wow. Earlier this year, we featured the SNR, the Serpent and the Rainbow.
It might actually edge NBK.
You got NBK knocked down a notch, huh? I believe it. The thing about NBK is, unlike Last Rites and some of their core lines, NBK had a lot of complexity and a lot of different transitions into
Right.
it. That's what we loved about it. This has that in spades, and it's got the power that the NBK doesn't. It doesn't deliver you that kick in the nuts that this does. I mean, this is a strong cigar.
And it's just flavorful.
Yes.
Yeah, strong and
just
flavor.
Flavorful.
I agree. We did the SNR earlier this year, Serpent and the Rainbow, which was something very different for them. I believe it's Sumatra.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that. But it was a lighter shade cigar. But, man, that thing was so nuanced, so balanced, with a lot of flavors. That overtook NBK for me. I smoked a couple since then. SNR is I'm like, these guys need to do more outside of the dark stuff, because this SNR is just really hitting home for me. Man, this fucker. This is
topping it right now for me.
This is damn
This
good.
has been solid the whole way. I haven't even had to relight it once. Even
Which
with
is
all
weird
the
for
talking.
us with all talking. No, I haven't either. Dude, it's fucking good. I'm going to wait. Nah, I think we all kind of know where we feel about it. You want to talk to price point?
Yes, I do,
So we
because
get back
I've
to the
almost
movie?
filled out my little score sheet here.
Okay. Take a guess. Tut, you first for once.
Oh my goodness.
It is limited, but in that retailers got it. Some were, promoted and stuff, sold out quickly. Others that don't promote it so much still have some in stock. You can find it. So don't really take that. It is out there if you want to find it. You just got to do a little digging. A lot of these manufacturers now have Facebook groups. Roma Craft has it. Drew State's had it forever. But, there is a Black Label Facebook group where if you're looking for something, people can lead you in the right way.
There's a RomaCraft Facebook group, Skip. I haven't gotten invited to
that. He asked that I not tell you about it.
Oh.
Sorry. Price point.
Well, at least JB got me into the Black Label stuff. I'll go $11.25.
Okay.
That's what I was going to go. It'd be like 12, 13.
$11.50.
Well,
$11.50.
You almost nailed it, Tut. How do you mean? What do you feel about it? You called it like you were a quarter away.
Well, that doesn't mean that I'm happy about that.
Oh, I'd pay $11.50 for this.
I want every cigar I buy to be $5.50.
That aside, that's going to last you about probably an hour and a half.
It lasted me about 2 hours.
Almost creeping on 2 when you're done with it. When you're done with
an
it.
hour and a half. I think it was first 30 minutes of the show we were just yakking.
Man, and it's the only one with that barber pole combination.
Yes.
Which I got to give a little bit there. You're going to spend a little bit extra to get a different wrapper experience.
And you know what? Yeah, I need to adjust that.
Yeah, you can get the Robusto. I think they have a Corona, 2 smaller sizes. I think the Robusto is a box press, so they do something different with each. There's 3 sizes. They do something a little bit different with each. Fuck, man, a little bit more for the dual wrappers. Which, hey, man, we're experts. We picked up on what that dual wrapper gave us. Well, I'm an expert according to a website. Tut has scored and is done.
I'm ready to check out of this podcast now.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Big
thumbs up.
I'll come back to it at the very, very end. If you get anything more, jump in on me. But, dude, buy this cigar. Pair it with this beer. You're in for a good night.
The Morphine Lancero.
Really, really good. They really ran the table with us this year between the SNR, which is completely different profile than this.
I was like, yeah.
I think you were the only one. I think we had Doctor that night. Us 3 loved it. You liked it.
Yeah, it was fine, but
you always gravitate towards the stronger.
I really gravitate towards the heavier
stuff. Man, I love that SNR. I'm not willing to put this above it right now, but I've kind of drifted away from the darker stuff. But I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm just saying that for the longest time, out of the Black Works and the Black Label offerings, I didn't think that I would come across anything that would even nudge me off of NBK, because I really love that cigar. To actually edge out the NBK in my palate.
And by the way, last third, the spice just started coming back in the nose. It went away. It drifted away a little bit. Now it's come back. Love that.
Again, I wish this is why I don't work for Half Wheel, because I can't describe this freaking flavor that I'm getting that has been present all the way through it, and I just can't nail it. But
Maple syrup.
So fucking gorgeous.
Maple syrup.
You're not off. It's not as sugary as that, though.
But it's a rich.
It is very rich,
sweet flavor. Not quite sweet, but I'm getting.
You are not.
There's
off.
a little maple syrup there.
There is, and it's gorgeous.
Not Mrs. Butterworth.
No.
Not like maple syrup, like straight up real maple syrup.
We're talking maple syrup coming out of the province of Quebec,
which isn't as sweet as Miss Butterworth or Aunt Jemima. I mean, it's a different type of syrup, and I am getting a little bit of maple in this.
I'm thinking it's syrup coming from the Valley of Riverdale. It's nice.
Look at this guy. Oh, wait, is that Archie?
It's Archie.
You WB watching motherfucker. All right. So, cigar, big thumbs up.
Huge thumbs up.
Beer, man.
Thumbs up.
Big
Yes.
thumbs up. We all love.
Absolutely.
I will say this: you talked about Unibroue being one of your favorite breweries. I'm putting it as one of my favorite breweries. It's just they do a lot of the triples and the doubles, and it's. I'm not going to say that they really branch out in terms of a lot of different stuff, but what they give you, I love.
I don't want a Unibroue stout or a Unibroue porter. I want them doing weird, crazy shit like this. This is what I want from them. I like it.
Yes.
I love it. All right. Well, we then jump outside the cabin.
That
Was
is
our
freaky.
light. Please buy something on Amazon so we keep the light. When Tut says it keeps the lights on around here, we literally just lost our lights.
I want to keep this rolling because I want people to see the.
It's not all the glamour and, the glamour and glitz that you think of when you think of a successful podcast.
Actually, it's not too terrible. I just left the connectors from my light stand to the lights. I left them at home. Hey, we've been doing a lot of traveling. We got back from Louisiana.
Can we just go with we can't afford to keep the lights on and buy something off Amazon?
We can't. We're in dire straits.
It's tough out there for a gangster, a podcast gangster. Well, as Cody fixes the lights, we then jump outside the cabin where Red is tied up with metal wire gagging him.
I think it's barbed wire.
Yeah, it's barbed wire across his mouth and his hands. Jeremiah, Brother Swan, and Sister Lucy walk out, and Jeremiah instructs Lucy to drop to her knees in front of Red. Jeremiah says that Red and Mandy think they are so much in love. He's going to show Red exactly what love is. He loads one bullet into a revolver, hands it to Lucy, who then places the gun at her temple. "Show him how much you love me," Jeremiah says, and she immediately pulls the trigger. Luckily, the bullet wasn't in the chamber, so Sister Lucy her life is spared. But that's how brainwashed and how into the cult she is. But poor
Good
Red.
job, Cody. Good
Thank
job.
you, Thulsa Doom.
Hey, can you see me again?
Yes.
But poor Red is not so lucky. Brother Swan produces a sacrificial dagger that has some mumbo-jumbo Dungeons and Dragons name. Tut, I'm sure you like that.
It even had an eye on it.
Yeah, it had a little eye, all-seeing eye on it. And then Jeremiah sinks it into Red's side, right into it.
Wait, was it the dagger of Abraxas?
No, that was not the dagger of Abraxas. Abraxas has the horn. This is the dagger of some... The dagger of remembrance?
The dagger of remembrance.
We just
Oh, he did it! He did it!
He just jabs it into Red's side, into his,
And this is where we really
his
begin
belly.
to see that Red can just take unsurmountable amounts
he's a
of
tough,
pain.
He's a tough bastard.
He's a freaking logger, man. He's
Jeremiah then tells Red that they wasted the chemist's finest on his whore. That stuff they poured into her eye and the wasp sting. But that he's about to learn that the cleansing power of fire cannot be reasoned with. That doesn't sound good.
No, it does not.
Anytime somebody mentions something about fire in these movies,
It doesn't end good.
It doesn't end good. I think the last time was it the Void that we saw the father and son bag people up and burn them alive.
Yes.
Well, we see it again. They then bring Mandy's body outside in a sack, string her upside down. They pour gasoline all over her and then light it up. As Brother Swan says, the darker the whore, the brighter the flame. The music here, the hyper-stylized use of colors, the eccentric characters selling every line out of their mouths, every action they put forth. It dawned on me during this scene right here, this sequence, this is what Rob Zombie wishes he could do. Follow me on this. He wishes he was Panos Cosmatos. Where this kind of stuff fails dramatically for poor Rob Zombie, it works here for me big time. Tut, you occasionally say you can taste the intent of the cigar when you smell a cigar. At this scene, I got the intent of the filmmaker. It's deeply personal, it's real, it's not phony baloney Rob Zombie bullshit. I sense the intent. From Jeremiah's stone-faced reaction to the burning of Mandy, to Mother Marlene's barely controlled giggles of joy, because she never liked She never saw what Jeremiah saw in Mandy. She's giggling over there
Oh, and the clump motherfucker.
to Red's tears and pain as he watches Mandy, to Klopek just weirdo watching the body burn. I believed it all 100%. When Rob Zombie does this shit, these actors are just, hey, go crazy. Go take it to 200. No.
Yeah.
I believed everything here. And then all of a sudden, boom, just like that, the Colt calmly packs up the van, their station wagon, and they leave. Dude, that's the... Rob Zombie creates these scenes, and there's no personal attachment to it. I got what the filmmaker was doing, and the actors sold it. Like, every cutaway he did to the cult members, I believed them in that moment. Give me that, Tut.
Yes. But again, and this is going to be residing throughout the entirety of this movie, there is not one part where I doubt the director's intent, where I doubt his personal involvement in this. This scene was horrible in terms of being horrific, which is a compliment.
We're seeing a woman burned alive.
It was horribly horrific, and it was 100% believable. Like you said, there's not one aspect of this scene that is believable. I just wish that I wasn't so numb to the point to where I'm just like, okay, get on with it.
And I do wish that at this point, maybe he had sped up some of the earlier stuff to where guys like you weren't disattached at this point. Because I think if he had gotten here quicker, because the second half of this movie does work at a much quicker pace, I think I was afraid of it. I was like, he's going to lose people in that artistry in the beginning, and they're not going to be willing to...
I understand you want to lay the groundwork. You want
I
to
get that
show.
too.
And I'm like... And like I said, I'm not saying like he needed to cut
that's not
scenes.
a slam on me on you
He
guys.
needed to shave seconds.
That's not me a slam on you guys. That's me a slam on, in general, like, man, I really hope you didn't lose too many people in that opening slow stuff to where they're not going to be...
There's always a balance between artistry and storytelling.
It's called editing. It's called...
And I mean, this is
editing.
this is what he wanted to see, but I get
Right.
that. He also needed those other people in that editing room. Like, it's got to move. It's got to move.
Well, I hate...
You've got
as a director, the worst thing in the world you can ever do to me
well, I know.
is snap your fucking fingers and tell me...
Well, I'm not gonna. Now I'm gonna do that every fucking time you're in my room.
We're done.
I'm gonna do that.
This is our last podcast.
But that's... I'm not... What I'm saying is, there were seconds.
I'm telling you, as a guy who used to write a lot of movies like this, but made a movie kind of like this, that a lot of people said was slow and kind of self-indulgent in certain places, and I had that.
I think the term.
I had that constantly in my ear, and I would literally fight a 5-hour battle for a 3-second more in a shot. Why can't you just cut here? For me, that 3 seconds that it took, it meant the world to me, and enough to where I would fight this ungodly, brutal fight to keep that 3 seconds until eventually, you know what? I regret it. I gave up. You know what? If it'll stop this, cut there. If it'll get me something else I want somewhere else.
But here's the really weird dance that has to go on through this part. You have the direction, and like I said, I understand every second that director wanted. Like I said, he's looking at every scene thinking poster shot, this is beautiful, this is gorgeous.
I don't think he's thinking poster. No, but I don't think it's a marketing thing. I don't think he's thinking poster shot.
No, it's not marketing. He's just looking at the beauty of it.
As an artist, I need that. I need that moment. I need those 3 seconds.
He's looking at the beauty of every frame and every scene that he's doing it. But not everyone is your artistic expression. Not everyone who views your artistic expression is that.
No, but out of
and I'm sorry,
out of a sample group of 3, he kept it the way he wanted it, and one of us is okay with it, and he's okay with it. So 20 years from now, he can watch this thing and not be like, God, I missed that shot, or I wish I would have. No, he got it his way. 1 out of 3 of us is okay with it. I'm siding with him.
And that's fine if he wants to make this.
This wasn't meant to be a mainstream.
And that's fine.
If you like the Fast and Furious movies, you ain't gonna like this.
And that's fine.
It is fine.
If you're
it's
making
different.
No, if you're making this movie for you, if you're making this movie for the independent art house, if you're making this movie for all the people that hang out in the coffee shops and talk about all the hold on, let me roll on. If you're making this for all the people that talk about all the great artistic expression in film and all the directors that are going crazy, that's cool. But if you're making this for people like me, who maybe not into this sort of, there's no story here.
I think it's
the story drags on.
No, there is a story
so
here.
fucking much.
There is a story
to where
here.
I'm like.
This is a story here, and I don't think it's that he's making.
It's a story that could have been told in 45 minutes.
No, it's not. It's a revenge film. It's a death wish
that could have
film.
been told in 45 minutes.
Well, then any film could have been told in 45 minutes.
But this was told in 2 hours.
He's not making it for the art film crowd. He's not making it for this.
Is.
He's making it for himself. And if you happen to align with what he likes, you're in store for a good thing.
That's great.
I
Good
respect
on you.
that.
That's great. Good on you. Get those Sundance Awards. Get that freaking art award.
I'm not bitter about it.
That's great.
I'm not bitter. I'm not doing a bitter slow clap about it. You made a film that means something to you and that you like, and if someone else happens to be on board, which a lot of people are, me being one of them, more power to you.
Yeah,
10 years from now, you don't have to watch this and be like, man, I'm really shitty. I wish I would have kept this. I wish I would have done it this way, but I wanted to try to make it a little... No. Why? In today's day and age, when everything's going straight to video, everything... It doesn't matter.
No.
If you trim 3 seconds off this scene, that scene, it's still going to be released the same way. It's still going to be... Why not you make something you're happy with?
And I'm not going to shit on him for being happy with what he released.
You did a very sarcastic slow clap.
I'm not going to shit on him for making the movie that he wants. But I'm also going to call him on the bullshit of it.
I guess where we're disagreeing here is bullshit and personal choice.
Yes.
But that's the way with good art everywhere.
Are we talking about art on the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast?
This is art.
Wait.
This
is art.
This is
art.
This
is the closest thing we've come to art on the show.
This is art.
I never wanted to speak about this.
Oh, jeez. She-Hulk.
No, I mean, I'm sorry. And
my only
this
complaint
is
here arguing over a painting.
This is literally
really
my thing. I said the opening. Everything else is fine. The opening to me dragged.
I was so afraid they would lose you in the opening because it is so slow.
And the only reason I stuck with it, I was literally checking out 5 minutes in until Nicolas Cage mentioned Galactus.
Oh, I forgot to. I'm sorry. Well,
I'm like, I am going to hate this fucking. Well, I like Galactus.
Red and Mandy are laying in bed. She's talking about what's your favorite planet. Hers is Saturn. And he's like, mine's Galactus. And she's like, that's not a planet. He's like, no, but he eats planets. And then he's like, starts playfully eating. It's a cute little scene. And Cage is a huge comic book guy.
Yes, absolutely.
I should have mentioned that. I'm sorry.
And I mean,
and I think we have to take a picture of your tattoo to like show Cody's personal involvement.
Did you do some tricep extensions today?
Yes, I can do it all.
All right. Well, Red eventually slips out of his barbed wire shackles and crawls over to the smoldering pile that was once his wife.
I have to interject the whole coming out of his barbed wire shackles things. There's a lot of times where you see people tied up in barbed wire in movies to where I'm just like, that doesn't look bad. This looks bad.
Oh, it's digging into his skin.
Oh,
it looks terrible.
That and the barbed wire across his mouth, I'm just kind of like... I saw a little bit in the trailer to where I was just like, man, that kind of looks cheesy. But in this scene, I was like, holy crap.
He gets out, and he watches then as her ashen skull, which kind of keeps the shape of her face, blows away in the wind. What a shot that is.
It actually was really
You gotta
good.
love that shot.
It was really
He
good.
literally watches his wife blow away, dust in the wind.
Oh, we are.
Kansas
Dust in the
style.
wind,
If they
dude.
start playing that song. They don't, thank God. I don't think you guys can handle it.
Actually, I could have totally handled that.
But basically, that's what was left of Mandy blows away in the wind. he stumbles into the cabin where the TV's playing, and a commercial is playing on the TV for Cheddar Goblin. Macaroni and cheese. It has a gremlin-like goblin, the Cheddar Goblin, puking up liquid cheddar cheese all over some happy kids. It's got 60% more cheddar than the leading national brand cheddar cheese. And then the TV cuts to the emergency broadcast news system for the night, and he looks at the TV, Cheddar Goblin, and then he collapses in the bed. This is something that has taken on a life of its own. If you follow film
The
things,
Cheddar
like,
Goblin?
people love the Cheddar Goblin.
Cheddar Goblin's pretty awesome.
Apparently, that segment was directed by a guy that did the Adult Swim thing, Too Many Chefs, or Too Many Cooks.
Yeah.
Which was this absurd kind of take on Full House, where it was just this theme song that kept playing over and over. It was like they introduced like 500 cast members. Some were porn stars, some were like... But the Cheddar Goblin is apparently like this huge cult thing now. It looks like a gremlin.
Yeah.
It looks like one of the gremlins or the critters just puking up this cheese. And Cage's expression as he's been stabbed, he watched his wife die, and he just goes in and he's kind of just focused in on this Cheddar Goblin. It is a cool little moment.
The only thing that I think that I would have actually liked to change about this movie, especially don't touch the Cheddar Goblin, because the Cheddar Goblin rocked. Instead of cutting to the EBS, cut to that final national anthem that used to always play.
The flag playing at the end. This is the end. This is the end of our broadcast thing. Yeah,
that would have been perfect.
That would have been nice. I think we experienced that. I explained to our listeners. We did one other movie where they cut to that, and I had to explain to our millennial listeners, like, that used to be where your night was over.
No more
TV for you.
That was it.
You get a flag waving and the national anthem, and it's over. You have to go to sleep, asshole.
I would have loved that.
Oh, but what's on channel 25? The same flag.
Nothing.
You're done.
Static.
And it would have been perfect in this scene because his life is over. Dum da dum 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 dum.
That would have been.
Oh, it would have been great.
Hey, we agree on something. And that the Cheddar Goblin was
fucking awesome.
Awesome. All right. Well, Red has an anime-style cartoon dream here about Mandy standing amidst a wall of fire as her face melts off.
Has he done the whitey tighty scene?
No. Right before that, he has a dream where it's a very anime-styled cartoon
and I
dream.
love it.
Her face melts off, and then boom, he wakes up in the bathroom. Remember back in the opening scene where one of Red's lumberjack buddies, co-workers, offers him a beer in the helicopter and he shakes his head and
Well, we
declines?
didn't talk about that, but yes.
Well, there's nothing to talk about. It was just kind of a throwaway little moment. Well, that throwaway moment makes sense now because Red goes straight to the bottom drawer in the bathroom under some towels where he pulls out a full bottle of vodka and proceeds to chug it.
Because he's a
bathroom alcoholic.
TNCC style, baby. He keeps the vodka in the bathroom. And not only does he start chugging it, he grabs his throat to keep him from throwing it up. He wants it to stay down. He's chugging it. He's pouring it on his wrists where the barbed wire was. He's pouring it in his side wound.
Where he got stabbed by a 6-inch blade, and apparently he's
This
fine.
is a crazier version of Unforgiven.
It's a crazier
where he
version.
grabs the bottle and just starts drinking. Like,
No, this is a crazier version of him in Leaving Las Vegas, where he was the crazy alcoholic. Dude, he's forcing the booze to stay down his throat. This guy's...
Of all the scenes in this movie, this one scene had me just looking at the screen going, yes.
He's chugging. He's crying.
Yes.
He chugs some more. He's crying.
Just that. Just him sitting on the toilet
in his tidy whities, crying, screaming, chugging. What other fucking movie star would... He's a movie star. What other movie star who's probably not getting paid shit for this would do this on a film? And this is totally a one take. If you watch, it's one take. You better get this shit because I'm going all out in this one take. You better get your lights right and your camera right because I'm going to go all out in this thing and I'm not doing 2 takes.
And he fucking did it.
And he fucking nailed it. And it's beautiful.
And he did it. And like I said, of all the pretentious stuff that's on in this film, this one scene
And you know what?
I gravitated to, and I'm like, this scene
And you know what?
is it.
I don't need to know why Red's an alcoholic. I don't need to know why Red doesn't drink anymore. This scene gave me everything. I love that it went back to that helicopter where he refused the beer. But this movie is great at not explaining shit that doesn't matter.
Here's something that's really weird.
And we're going to get to a lot here in a minute with the Bill Duke scene. This movie is great about making you just put together a couple things in your head as an audience member, and I'm not going to waste time giving it to you.
Here's a really weird thing, and I know I'm going to be made fun of, and I don't care.
You keep vodka in your bathroom?
No, I should. Actually, no.
It's helpful.
But
I was really more impressed. Was like, oh, sweet. Bathroom vodka.
Bathroom vodka. And I guess she doesn't stock the towels.
If you've ever watched Animal for the Muppets, when he goes on his rants, and then there's like the last 3 seconds of his rant where he's just kind of like, there's this scene where Cage is just fucking yelling and just going on, and then when he finally collapses on the toilet, he's like, and it's that same just, I'm freaking
This is
exhausted.
a
I
fucking
got
movie
nothing
star
to
doing
do.
this thing. You think Bruce Willis is going to do this shit?
Maybe.
You think Stallone is going to be like,
I
I
actually
got
could
the
see-
scene somewhere in my tidy whities and no. Nicolas Cage was at one point our biggest action movie star. The Rock, National Treasure movies,
Dude.
Gone in 60 Seconds. Like this guy,
Con Air.
Face
Off.
Off. This dude is sitting on a john in his tidy whities with a Tiger t-shirt, chugging vodka, choking himself to keep it down. Dude, this scene is right up there with me with just...
This scene is probably the best scene in the entire movie.
It's one of them. It's one of them.
It is.
Well, Red then pulls his shit together long enough, and he heads across the lake, where he pounds on the door of a mobile home, despite the words "fuck off" being written with marker on the door. Old man Carruthers finally opens the door, and
Thank you.
shit, man!
Thank you,
Bill fucking Duke.
Thank you, Bill Duke.
Bill Duke, one of my all-time favorite screen presences, and one we don't nearly see enough
And
of
he
these
looks
days.
so damn good in this.
Bill Duke.
And also, his name is Old Man Carruthers.
Old Man Carruthers. Bill Duke, you guys will know as Mac from Predator. You'll know him as Commando.
Oh, tall Sally, she's real sweet. She got
You'll know him from
everything that Uncle John needs.
God, the guy's got a career out there.
He's like a police sergeant in one of these
He's
TV
been in
cop
a
dramas.
gazillion
Oh
movies.
God, man!
Yes.
First of all, look, it begins and ends with Mac. He's Mac
Correct.
from Predator.
Correct.
You know who he is now.
Well, Red tells him, "I've come for the Reaper," and Old Man Carruthers hands Red a pristine crossbow that he's kept hidden for him. Perfect condition, just like you left it.
Hang on one second, because we do have to. Well,
What you gonna do with that thing? I'm going hunting. Well, if you're going hunting, I got some other shit you might need. Carruthers gives Red some super sharp arrows that he's crafted that'll cut through human bone like a fat kid cuts through cake. And they're all his as long as he promises to put them to good use. Carruthers then asks Red what he's hunting. Seems fair.
Jesus freaks.
Red's pretty much been under control at this point, but then Nicolas Cage loses his shit. Jesus freaks, hippie types, bikers, gnarly psychos. They set her on fire. None of it makes any sense. It's crazy evil. It's full Nick Cage crazy. But his friend, Carruthers, doesn't bat an eye. He only mutters the words, "Black skulls, black skulls." You see, word has been getting around about from the big rigs that there's something dark and fearsome out there.
word's been getting round.
From the big rig. Oh, yeah.
You ghosted me, motherfucker.
Adrian
Barbeau meets
It's Adrian Barbeau meets... All right, I'm going to do this as... I'm going to do Bill Duke as Adrian Barbeau. No one knows where they come from. Oh, yeah. First it was stories on the interstate. Truckers left for dead. Prostitutes vanishing. Oh, yeah. Gutted bodies left on doorsteps, baby. And always the same. Biker gang on black bikes, only seen at night. Weird shit, baby. Oh, yeah.
That's fucking Bill Dukes.
There was rumor that there was a biker chapter who ran a courier for a manufacturer of LSD. He took a disliking to them and he cooked them up something special. Real special batch, baby. And they have never been right in the head since. What you're hunting, Red? They're rabid animals. And you should go in knowing your odds ain't good. You're probably gonna die. To which Nicolas Cage says, don't be negative. I love that little thing. That was put in there to be funny, and it is. Because it's like, don't be negative. Last Carruthers heard they were seen down by Spirit River. I'll tell you what, boys. There's a part of me that wanted the demon bikers and their mythology to remain a secret. I didn't want to know anything about them.
Right.
I wanted them to be Cenobites from hell.
I wanted them to actually be spirits or something.
Spirits or something. But if you're gonna explain them as some bikers that got some weird shit and now they've transformed into some monsters because of some badass drugs, you better goddamn have Bill Duke tell you that story because it works. It works so goddamn good. Oh my god.
First of all, he just, as a screen presence, he chews up the real estate.
Dude, he does. He's just sitting in a chair with his old military
That's
fatigue
it.
jacket.
He's just sitting in a...
But he tells, just like, no, Tom. Oh, just like in Predator.
You and me,
You and fucking me.
not a scratch,
Not a
motherfucker.
Fucking Bill Duke.
Dude,
What a great scene.
I don't care who you are back in the world. I just...
Ugh. Kudos
Actors.
to getting Cosmatos to get fucking Bill Duke in the scene. And much like the alcohol thing, I don't need to know how these two guys know each other, why he brought this crossbow for Bill Duke to hide, what his job was, where he had this
Crossbow?
I don't need to know any of it.
Why is your crossbow called the Reaper?
I actually kind of
wanna-
do. I actually kind of do want to know
I
that
don't
now.
want to know any of it.
I do now.
All I know is he was friends with Bill Duke. They got into some shit. Hide my crossbow. Now you need your crossbow? I made you some fucking arrows, and I'm going to tell you a cool little story. I'm loving it.
Fin Du Monde me, please.
You will be Fin Du Monde.
It is amazing.
This
Go
was
ahead,
my
Cody.
favorite. This was my favorite scene in the movie.
And
It's pretty fucking good.
yes, I'm
sticking with my tidy whities, but this is
It's
right
simple.
Right there.
It's straight to the point.
there. Oh, I have to ditch this.
It's
This is so
humorous
sad.
where it needs to be, without being like
No, the way he injects comedy is so just sparse, and a lot of times so absurd.
Well, it's kind of the Nicolas Cage.
But he plays the Cage's comedic
Brilliant.
stuff. It's very Raising Arizona-ish kind of way.
It actually is.
I
Yeah,
thought-
Cage has always been a dark comedy genius.
But I thought he used Cage perfectly in all this.
Yeah.
And when Cage is like, don't be negative. I mean, he just told you this horrible, dark as shit story.
well, you
And
know,
you're
I
gonna
mean,
die. Don't be negative. Come on.
well, I mean,
I got a chance. Red now has his old high-powered crossbow, the Reaper.
Oh, I did want to say that there was a scene where Mandy was laughing at Hanging Wang dude, and she said something like the Reaper's coming for you.
Oh, did she? I missed
Yeah,
that.
there was a scene where
So she knew about Red's
she-
past.
Well, I don't know whether she knew about the Red's past or whether she was in a psychedelic trip, but when
When she was laughing at him with
yeah,
his
when she was
record,
laughing
she said
at
the
him,
Reaper's
she
coming
was
for
like,
me?
"The Reaper's coming for you."
Oh, I missed that.
Crossbow's name, the Reaper.
Good job, Tut. All right. Well, again, I don't need to know why he had
Can't
the
believe
Reaper. I don't need to know about his
Paid attention to this.
his background. You get the feeling it's military.
But
Bill Duke's wearing a fatigues.
Yeah, but I want to know about the. I'm kind of like Cody.
No,
I want to know about the Reaper now.
I'm okay with another movie that just is about Bill Duke and Nicolas Cage with
that-
crossbows.
Fucking
That would be awesome.
Reapers.
That would be
Oh,
awesome.
Reapers.
But yeah, I missed that. That's a good point. Well, we then cut to Red pouring molten steel into a mold and him hammering out his own
Okay.
custom battle axe.
Why?
Yax, you had to have a huge erection watching this.
Oh, I did.
You love battle axes.
I do. Absolutely.
You almost got on a watch list bringing a battle axe into the
I
country.
did. I absolutely didn't. And this was one of those where I was like, what the hell is going on?
Dude, he's going to war. He's making a battle axe.
Yeah, but I mean, I got the Reaper. Let me borrow your forge. Wait, you've got a forge?
Hey, did you guys see
Apparently.
Did you guys see in Old Man Carruthers' mobile home that he had a box of cheddar goblin macaroni and cheese on the
No,
counter?
I did not. I wish.
He did.
Oh, man, I missed it.
Yeah.
I don't like them goblins, but damn if that cheese ain't good.
I just can't stop eating it. Well, he's forging this giant battle axe out of molten steel, and as Red holds up the finished weapon, it shines brightly in the light. We cut to a black screen where finally the title card appears. An hour, where are we?
Mandy.
An hour and 15 minutes in, we finally have our title card, Mandy. But it spreads out. It's like in the Celtic frost.
It's like
death metal text.
It's like a part tree, part blood trail.
But it looks like those death metal bands. They're crazy fonts. The Celtic.
Or the Dungeons and Dragons fonts and stuff.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
I mean, who does?
I'm a real man.
I rolled D20 with the best of them, baby.
I like that an hour and 15 in, we finally see the title card. This is a different
Of course
movie.
you would.
This is a
Well,
different
you know,
movie.
and it
We're getting our title card an hour and 15 in. I liked it.
Well,
It
but
makes
at this
sense
point,
as
it's like
how
it wasn't so much
slow
that it
this
was
is
like a
dragged.
title card because you saw like the thing flash across the screen for Children of the New Dawn.
Children of the Smoky Mountains or whatever.
Yeah, you have been getting these kind of chapters, but now we're all about Mandy, avenging Mandy. I liked it.
It was kind of a Tarantino-esque, except not shot out of order.
Correct.
Pulp Fiction, where you got the title.
Yeah. I liked it. You know what else I like, boys?
What?
The Herrera Esteli Miami from Drew Estate. I smoked one of these suckers in Vegas this summer at IPCBR, and it's smooth as shit. Trust me on that. Like I said earlier, the cigar is crafted by Level 9 rollers from Cuba at the El Titan de Bronze in Little Havana, Miami factory. The complete Herrera Esteli Miami line is expertly crafted with a lavish, however you want it, Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro wrapper over a rich Ecuadorian Sumatran binder with select fillers from the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. The new look of Herrera Esteli Miami features a black and gold colored tone. It looks sharp. I like it. And is only available to Drew Diplomat retailers in 5 Vitolas now. Trust me, if you're looking for a smoke that's short on spice but heavy on cedar and cream, this is the cigar for you.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
I liked it. I'm looking forward to getting another one. So check it out.
Cedar and cream.
You know
what I'm gonna have to like make one of my life goals? I want to find out what exactly constitutes a level 9 roller.
It's a
Who
whole
judges it?
It's a whole
Who
pedigree.
passes them from
Yeah.
level 1 to 2
There's
to
like,
3.
Yeah, it's like a pedigree. It's like it's like their degreed education. Yeah.
Exactly. I want to know what's the difference between a level 8 and a level 9.
We might have to go down to.
Is there a level 10? More importantly, is there a level 11?
Good
I'm
question.
currently classified as a level 13.
I don't think that's a classification.
I was bluffing. You're right. But we would probably have to go down to either the Titan de Bronze factory or talk to Willie. That'd be a good question for Willie. Willie could answer that. What's it take to get this status?
I'm gonna have my salsa music playing. Hey Willie, let me know what's up with the level 9.
Are you going to be
As he, like,
doing that
beats
music
me
with your mouth?
No, because he would beat the fuck out of me. You've
Yeah,
seen how big he is.
He's a large man. And I would actually not probably intervene on that.
You'd probably hold me down. No, he deserves it.
I'm Willie's brother Swan. All right, well, let's get back to the action here. Red takes up a spot in the woods with the Reaper, his trusty crossbow. And when he spots one of the demon bikers racing down a country road, he shoots him off of his bike. He then jumps in a Chevy Blazer and barrels towards him. But when
Sweet Blazer, man.
Yeah, not as sweet as yours. You still have it?
Yes.
I haven't driven to the old neighborhood. It's still parked at the parents' house?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you got to ride in the Blazer to get the full experience. It's something. But as he's barreling towards the demon, when he smashes, this is tell me if I saw this right. When he smashes the blazer into the demon, it causes the blazer
To flip.
to flip. Him running
Yes.
in. Okay, good.
That's what I
And
kind of got
I
out
couldn't
of it.
understand that at all.
Well, now that we know they're not demons, that supposedly, according to Bill Duke, Old Man Carruthers,
They're just bikers.
they're bikers who are
Whacked
drugged
out.
out of their minds. That didn't make much sense to me. How he could hit the demon and flip. That's kind of why I wanted them to
I actually had
kind
to-
of remain a mystery.
Yeah, because I had to rewind this scene. And
I did too, because it's like, was it just him hitting that guy that made him flip? But it was.
yeah.
It doesn't make any. That doesn't make any sense.
No. Well,
I mean, and clearly in the scene, the biker pulls out a gun and starts shooting at him, which is easily more explainable as to why he would veer off and flip.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was poor editing. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe the gunfire. He hit a something.
Yeah.
But he crashes on its side nearby. After another animated sequence of a naked cartoon Mandy floating under the lake.
I'm sorry, I really love these animated sequences.
You know what? We're going to disagree again, because this stuff actually seemed a little out of... It seemed too modern for me.
No, to me
well,
it was a nod to heavy metal.
The
Yes.
cartoon... No, especially later. We'll get to... There's one scene in particular that really reminded me of heavy metal. But...
I was actually like, you could make this entire movie
Where the
this
Kill-
animated style.
Where the Kill Bill
and I would
anime
love it.
seemed dated to me and kind of aged, this seemed way too crisp and fresh and
Fresh, yeah. It was definitely a modern anime style.
I thought if you're doing everything 80s,
it was more computer. It wasn't the hand drawn stuff
this stuff
of the
just seemed,
80s.
this seemed a little out of.
I can get where you're coming from.
Oh, that
I think that's kind of like really putting it to the screws.
I'm putting it to the screws. The one thing I don't like, I'm putting it to the screws.
God, you're really just ragging on it.
All right, maybe I'm being unfair there.
All right, well,
But,
it worked for you though.
I actually would have loved this entire movie being shot as an anime. And I would have been
Okay.
great with it.
Well,
Well, maybe not. No.
Red wakes up in a filthy basement with one hand handcuffed to a radiator and the other hand nailed with a giant silver nail to the floor. One of the slime-coated demon bikers. I'm gonna keep calling them demons because to me
they're
they are
supposed to be.
demons. One of these slime-coated, evil as shit demon bikers enters the room and immediately slices up Red's chest with a knife. As he punches Red in the face, he garbles. They all have this real guttural, garbled voice. He garbles that Red has a death wish. And that's when Cage switches and goes full eccentric Cage and starts whimpering. I don't want to talk about that, man. You see, man,
I don't want to talk about that.
you're a vicious snowflake, man. That's what you are. You're a vicious snowflake.
What the? I think the use of that word has to be
It has to tie
intentional?
something into the current.
right, but I don't know what. I couldn't
I just
make
think
the connection.
I just think it's ironic. I mean, this guy is clearly has been dead, reborn. He's covered in nails and slime. To call him a snowflake, I think there's something.
I
don't know what.
I missed.
But Cage is full blown
All right.
crazy Cage.
I've talked about like every scene in this to where I can recognize the artist's intention. I don't recognize the artist's intention
I
in the use
think
of
this
Snowflake.
is more that Cage literally was winging it.
Yeah, like, you know what? Go crazy.
Okay.
I was okay with it.
But I will say this. Was the biker... To me, this demon biker was supposed to be female.
I didn't get that.
To me, this is the most female...
She was it was a very tight figure, leather, but the slime, and it was just an all white kind of.
I almost think that this is like a female biker.
Okay. Well, but he's
not
calling
that
her
it matters
snowflake.
that much.
And he's stalling her basically enough to where he can break free from his thing, and he beats her to death, or him to death with. He gets free from the raid and he beats her to death with a steel pipe, and sends her flying down this big hole in the ground. This movie's so nuts. I don't think I necessarily mind when Red says, like, when she cuts him, he's like, "It's my favorite shirt, man." This movie's so crazy. I don't mind that shit, but I can totally understand when someone else watching it would bother them.
Yeah.
It only bothered me a little bit. I just kind of chalked it up to Cage being Cage.
But as a character choice, I can get on board with it because I don't know Red a lot. I don't know if he says, because he's so vague as a character. I can kind of, okay, if that's who he is. It's not Cage, it's the character. But I could totally see someone else being like, that's just.
All right, let me get real nerdy and geeky here. In Dungeons and Dragons, there's a term when you go out of character and it's like you know the rules, but your character shouldn't know the rules. It's called metagaming. And in this scene, it's like
you're putting your thoughts above the character's thoughts.
Would Nicolas Cage, the character, actually care about his shirt? Or would Nicolas Cage, the actor, being told, go fucking Nicolas Cage?
Well, there is a lot of significance we'll learn later with this shirt. Yeah. He's wearing a number 44 kind of baseball t-shirt, a jersey shirt. We'll learn a very, very strong significance to this shirt for him. But the way he delivers it, you didn't catch it?
No, I didn't catch that.
Stay tuned.
Maybe I'll learn something.
Stay tuned. Here. So I could get you either being on board with it or not. I think it works both ways.
Yeah.
But if you're not on board for full-blown bat nuts fucking shit crazy, then I'm sorry.
Because the rest of the movie is about
that. Red crawls out of the basement and he discovers a nude, raped older couple dead on their bed upstairs in the house. At least the bent-over man with the bloody ass cheeks was clearly raped. Sorry, Tut. I know I said I wouldn't do this. I didn't know. I said we were done with man rape for the year. I'm sorry. We don't see it, though. He's just got some bloody butt cheeks. Red makes his way to the living room where a portly demon is snorting inhuman amounts of cocaine off the coffee table.
Demon. It's the awesome demon with all the spikes and
he's got spikes everywhere, but he's a fat demon, and he's snorting just these huge things of coke while watching 80s porn on the TV. This 80s couple doing it doggy style. Is it Herschel Savage?
I don't know. Yeah. I was more just looking over at this character like...
You were more looking over your shoulder like, is anybody watching me watch this movie? Wait, I'm in my own house.
I'm still looking.
Your brother walks up. Terrible.
That's terrible.
He's watching 80s porn on the TV and stroking his giant horn penis. But it's not like the horn of Abraxas. It's like a rhinoceros horn.
Yeah, it's...
penis between his legs.
It's kind of a... Seven, the movie Seven. That's what it made me think of.
Oh, yeah, where the guy screwed... Yeah. Well, Red tries to stab him from behind, but the demon grabs him and tosses him across the table in front of him, and they start wrestling. Until finally... Red jabs a box cutter into the demon's neck, unleashing a flood of bright crimson blood
Ash
straight into
the
Red's
Evil
mouth.
Dead. It's basically Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yeah, it's just straight
it's Sam Raimi.
Straight into Nick Cage's mouth, and he just is laughing wildly as the blood is getting in his mouth. Then suddenly, the demon from down the basement, which we thought was dead, reappears, and Red screams, "You cut my shirt! You cut my shirt!" before grabbing his head and just snapping... Just like that, he snaps his neck. He learned that in the military with Bill Duke. We don't know anything about it, but the way he snapped that neck was expert. And he even looks at the camera like, I still got it. But we don't know. We don't have to know how he learned to snap necks. But dude, that was clearly, unlike a lot of revenge movies, like Charles Bronson in Death Wish, he was an architect.
Right.
Paul Kersey, he was a liberal. It was so hard to picture him grabbing this gun, doing all this.
Yes, but
we have a little bit of nugget that this guy has some training.
This is what I question. I'm like, you know what? If all of a sudden you're snapping necks super easy, why could you not have snuck up on the dude snorting the cocaine? Why did you not just like sneak up behind the couch?
Snack.
I'm just saying, when he snaps that neck, I'm like, oh yeah. He was on like Predator. He was with Bill Duke.
Special Forces.
Bill Duke. Shit makes Cambodia look like Kansas.
He's looking at Carl Weathers. You ghosted us, motherfucker.
So At this point, I'm like, this guy has some training.
I just wanted him to like walk up behind, Rhino Penis dude. Remember Afghanistan?
Rhino
Trying to
Penis.
forget.
Do you guys ever call me Rhino Penis dude behind my back?
Never.
No. I think tonight's cigar was kind of a Rhino Penis cigar.
It was not.
It was ballsy. It was strong.
No.
You can't make that term stick. You just
We'll see if Black Label uses that quote.
TNCC. This is kind of a Rhino penis cigar. Hashtag
No.
It's not going.
It's not like a movie. They don't have a poster I can have my little quotes on.
We'll see what She-Hulk has to say about it later.
Well, Red, after snapping the demon's neck like a pro, Red then grabs a thing of glass and snorts a huge thing of cocaine up his own nose. He's an addict. From the vodka in the bathroom to seeing the coke there, like, he can't help himself. Why not? Your girl's dead.
The
Well,
funny thing was is that I was like, all right, there's been nothing to explain this, but it works.
It does. And because Cage makes it work.
Because at this point,
I'm ready for it.
my girl's dead.
I'm ready for it to be
Fuck
over.
it. Am
I going to fail
clocked
the piss test at my lumberjack job in 1983? No, I'm fucking snorting this shit.
Dude, the lumberjacks are flying out on a helicopter cracking open beers, man. You want one? I don't think they're worried about a piss test.
Well, Red gathers his.
I think they were cracking open beers on the way to work.
He finds the Reaper, his crossbow. He finds his battle axe, which they stole. Then he sees the mason jar. Remember the guys gave him that mason jar of the good stuff?
He's cracking open bottles of vodka. He's snorting up cocaine
To
off
which
the floor.
he
What's
tastes-
this strange jar of liquid? I don't know.
Dude, he literally puts his finger in this hallucinogenic crazy juice. One drop on his tongue. He sees 1,000 images in a second.
I was just waiting for Iron Butterfly music to start.
In terms of psychedelic, psychotropic drug scenes, this was there.
But it's literally
It
like
actually
one drop
was.
on the tongue and then what does he do? He just opens the window and jumps out. Okay.
Well, why wouldn't he? He can fly at this point.
He actually can.
I'll admit it, I never had a night quite like this my freshman year at St. Vincent State University. I jumped out of some windows, but I didn't have this kind of courage.
Gravity still works.
Well, there was that one Toad the Wet Sprocket concert. That was a hell of a night.
Also because it was Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Nobody ever said those words together. When Red goes out, he jumps out the window and he gets outside. There's one more demon waiting for him, standing stoically in front of a burning car. I have no idea why that car's on fire.
Yeah.
Red shoots him in the throat with one of Carruthers' special arrows, and the demon just calmly pulls it out with blood splurting everywhere. But he's still standing. He's not going down.
You saw what the special juice did to Cage.
We need to get some.
That dude was chugging it.
Next episode, we're pairing a cigar with that mason jar of special juice.
That's got to be one ballsy
I don't
cigar.
know. At Cats Fest one year, Robert Holt from Southern Draw, he gave me a mason jar full of something. It didn't give me these kind of powers, but
Have some demon biker juice. Can I say no to that? No, you can't.
Obviously,
when have I ever said no to drink this mysterious demon juice? All right.
It's funny that you
It's not going to make me into a demon, is it?
Would I give that to you?
You didn't answer. I'll just drink it.
Holt seems like the perfect person to hand you the jar of special demon juice.
Just try to say it. Never seen Kate's pupil so big. Well, there was that time at the Toad the Wet Sprocket concert. Kate's the reason they broke up.
Thank you, Kate.
Do you guys even know who Toad the Wet Sprocket is?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yes. That didn't fall on deaf ears.
Should have.
I wish I had deaf ears when I was at the Toad the Wet Sprocket concert. So, the guy is standing in front of this burning car. Red shoots him in the throat, pulls it out. He's still standing. Red marches over to the demon, and they get into a lengthy knife versus battle axe fight.
I'm sorry, but a knife against a battle axe?
Yeah, but the guy with the knife is a demon.
That doesn't matter because we have proven that they're not. They're just humans.
He got a
drugged
knife
up.
through. He got an arrow through his throat.
That is true.
Pulled it out. Blood. These guys are inhuman at this point.
That's true.
That was the biggest conflict I had in this thing. Was I want these guys to be demons. I don't like that they were explained, but I love that Bill Duke explained them. This movie would have worked like a Turbo Kid, kind of an apocalyptic, these just unexplained demons. And I think it would have worked better if they were just not explained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, you can give a Harley Davidson guy the worst LSD in the world, you still shoot him the arrow with it.
He's going down.
He's going down. These guys don't go down. And they don't have rhino penises all of a sudden. Do they?
Let's hope not.
Is that a biker gang? I need to
El Bandido
get
with the
that
right
patch on my back. Oh, God, that guy's a rhino penis. Don't look at him, Sour. That's right. He doesn't look like he has
I'm
a
done.
Don't say anything, son.
I'm done.
Don't say anything,
I'm
son.
done.
Dad, I'm looking. He doesn't have a rhino. Don't say it, son.
I'm done.
All right, I'm the one rhino penis gang member without a rhino penis. I got a micro penis. You happy? I'm just trying to get gas and some Slim Jims. Leave me alone, you little shit. That's how that interaction would go.
Much
some
like
reason I
this
believe
movie, it went on 3 minutes too long.
Well, they have a lengthy knife versus battle axe fight. As the axe will tell you, it's always going to go the way of the battle axe. They're exchanging blows back and forth as the demon tells Red, and these demons speak in this very like gurgling underwater demonic voice. Mandy is still burning. I didn't do it justice.
Mandy is still burning.
Mandy's still burning.
Yeah, it's closer. It's closer.
That's better. That's better. Red finally shoves the man monster into the fiery car, and as the demon is encased in flames,
Now you're burning.
he keeps muttering, "No." She burns. She burns. She burns. These fuckers are rubbing in his face about his wife burning.
I know, but Nicolas Cage should have just
Until-
gone, now you're burning.
Well, Red finally loses it, and he chops the biker demon's head off with his axe. He sees a cigarette butt on the ground, picks it up, and lights it on the smoldering head. Classic. That's awesome. Come on, dude. Anytime you light your cigarette on a severed head, that's awesome. Reminds me of my sophomore year at Sam Houston State University. You know, it's
And
not-
at this
it's
point,
not
you
true.
have to ask the question. You don't know whose cigarette that was. It could have been.
I don't think Red's too concerned at this point.
After you put your pinky into the demon juice or the mason jar,
I don't think
special
Red's too
juice,
concerned about
Well, that's what I'm
communicable
saying. I mean,
communicable
obviously
diseases.
The demon
at
juice
this-
was just sitting on the counter. Obviously, they were using tortilla chips, dipping it up. I mean, come on.
Guy Fieri.
He just.
I'm getting the Satan. I'm getting the otherworldly evil. Oh yeah. What's that, a little cilantro?
Well, it's a little John Milton Paradise Lost there. Oh yeah.
I'm getting the Paradise Lost. I'm getting the cilantro and the habanero. Oh yeah. Goes to fist bump Nick Cage. He's got those giant pupils. You cut up my shirt. Stabs the Guy Fieri.
You cut up the cilantro.
Actually, if that happened in this movie, I wouldn't be surprised. Like Guy
No,
Fieri should have
no.
shown up in a dream sequence. Like Mandy's underwater as a mermaid, and all of a sudden Guy Fieri floats down there.
If he would have showed up, that
that
would have changed my
parsley?
end.
Oh yeah. Well, that's again
Taking
why
notes of time.
Matt Cade isn't allowed to make
No,
movies
that's
anymore.
why Matt Cage should make movies right there.
Thank you, Tut. Thank you. Well, Red then jumps on one of the demons.
Okay, no, this okay.
Okay, let me tell you why Matt Cage shouldn't make movies. Are you gonna counterpoint this?
No.
Oh, okay.
Counterpoint is, I don't think they had these types of four-wheelers in 1983.
No,
they
should have been a
they were-
three-wheeler. It should have
Yeah.
been if it's 1983.
Oh no,
it
they
should
were
have been a
very
three-wheeler.
modern.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. No, I thought the same thing. Like,
Yeah, it should've
the
been a
dirt
three-wheeler.
bikes. It was hard to tell because it was dark. The motocross style bikes, but the ATVs look very modern.
Yeah, they should have
Yes.
been three-wheelers. There were no four-wheelers. Well, there might have been, but no.
But these
no,
look,
it would
these
have been
look
three-wheelers.
But then again, they're demons from hell. They
can't time travel.
all right. That's your problem with this movie?
It is. It really is.
Red jumps on one of the unimaginable four-wheelers that these guys have
Just unbelievable.
and makes his way to
Unbelievable.
a bottom of a nearby satellite tower. The exact tower he saw in his vision. In the anime dream, actually not in the anime dream, when he tasted that fluid, he saw a big radio tower in his visions.
I lost that. I didn't.
And now when he's driving, he sees that tower and he pulls up to it because he saw it in his visions.
I didn't catch that.
That I caught something you did. So he gets off the four-wheeler that shouldn't exist in 1983.
That is true.
That's very true.
After sipping his mason jar full of insane demon juice. And it's here that he encounters the chemist. Remember when Jeremiah was like, we wasted the chemist's best stuff on your whore? Well, this is the chemist. Oh boy. So this is the weirdo who makes the eye drops and magical wasp stings for the other weirdos. And make no mistake, this dude is full-blown fucking weirdo. He's wearing nothing but a leather apron, which I imagine Tut on his 80s Sunday pancake breakfast. That's what he wears.
It is,
No.
isn't it?
He's full nude except for a leather apron.
It would be either a Captain American apron or a Batman apron.
Well, either way, you're not wearing anything under that apron, are you?
That's a good chance.
You guys ready for the Breakfast Club? I actually woke up at his
Do you
house
want
one time
More
on a
insane
Sunday.
demon juice?
I woke up on a Sunday, actually, one time at his house. I don't know why, random thing. It was 80s Pancake Sunday.
Nice.
Dude, the pancakes were unbelievable. He actually knows how to make really good pancakes.
It's always good to know.
I'm not sure if he was wearing anything under that leather apron.
There's some demon juice in that pancakes.
Is that blueberry? Oh,
Is
yeah.
that blueberry?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm like seeing visions of towers and demons and dragons.
Charles Mortimer is a tiger sitting there in
I
the
think
light.
that might have had to do with the entire bottle of Woodford Reserve I drank the night before, but I've heard it both ways.
I'm just imagining Charles Mortimer as the tiger.
Totally. Keep that thing under. That's wife's like, why is Kate's pupils like fucking silver dollars?
Why aren't they?
Did you see how much Steel Reserve he drank last night? And why are you wearing that leather apron? Call me the chemist, babe. Call me the chemist. I'm not eating your pancakes, asshole. And I'll watch Breakfast Club next weekend. I just worked out a little scenario at Tut's house without him even...
No. Everybody wants my pancakes.
They were phenomenal pancakes. Was
I
it like
am-
banana walnut, maybe?
No, that was banana peanut butter.
That was good. It was good.
I'm perfecting my lemon poppy seed pancake.
All right. Well, this guy, do we agree
No, I
he's a
really
full-blown
want to talk
weirdo?
about my
He
pancakes
is.
a little bit.
Is this
more.
guy the biggest weirdo
He's
in the movie
awesome.
so far?
He's awesome.
He's got petri dishes full of maggots and worms on his work table. He's also got a giant tiger named Lizzie that he keeps in a cage. But he takes one look at Red and he senses it. Oh man, they wronged you, brother. You exude a cosmic darkness. Can you see that? Which Tut actually did say to me at pancake breakfast.
Well, once again,
I just want to go home.
we've got a Batman alum here. So
Oh yeah, this guy was he's one of the bad guys in Batman Begins.
Joe Chill.
Joe Chill.
He killed Batman's parents.
And this guy actually has been in a lot of Rob Zombie movies.
Yes.
But he finally gets to be in a movie where he's good and not stupid.
It's a good look. I mean, he's got
He's got really
nice.
sunken in cheeks. I mean, he looks like a guy that's been smoking Marlboro Reds for 60 years and he's only 40 years old. He's got that look to him. The leather apron and nothing on underneath helps a lot.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this character kind of reminds me of the guy in The Matrix.
I thought you could say Heat, the bald guy. It's all out there, brother. You just got to reach up there.
No, Matrix 2. The guy that kind of explains everything.
The architect,
Architect, thank you.
kind of.
in a weird Rob Zombie way.
A much more creepy way. I mean,
Yeah.
this guy was bizarre. Well, he senses, oh man, my children have really done you wrong, brother. Red says nothing as we cut down to Red's boots. They're covered in these big black. Are those worms?
Centipedes.
They weren't centipedes. I looked. They didn't have a million legs. They were like slugs.
Well, then maybe they were worms.
There was some sort of thing.
They were slugs.
Sure.
They were gross. And they were crawling all over Red, and he didn't flinch. He's just staring this dude down. So the chemist, senses that his children are due whatever that... He's just saving his own ass at this point. I guess my children are due what you have coming to them. Go north, my friend. Go north.
Here's where they are.
Dude, he sells them out. Go north. And Trump. I'm talking about sellouts.
Snowflakes.
I was talking about sellouts. But no, dude, the chemist says go north, and Red lets him live.
Did he?
Didn't hurt that the guy had a tiger watching every move Red made.
Yeah, but didn't he release the tiger?
Yeah, and he didn't hurt Red.
That's the weird thing.
And I think he even
is that
said something to the effect of like, when he gets sketchy, I know he didn't attack Red.
That was the one thing that I kind of appreciate about this scene is that the chemist had this conversation with Red without Red ever speaking a word.
He just stares at him, and Cage sells it.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, oh man, you're right. And then he lets the tiger go. Like Cage was like, you shouldn't keep the tiger in the cage. And he's like, yeah, man, you're right. I shouldn't. It was a weird, trippy scene, but at this point in the movie,
Visually, It was an awesome scene. His laboratory and that tiger, it was a really cool scene.
that's why it kind of reminded me of The Architect. It was just kind of like there was nothing defining around it. It was just
open. It was
him
very
and his
open.
desk.
Yeah, it was cool. Well, we follow Red then on the ATV through a series of old mine shafts until he finally emerges in a majestic gully between a series of large blue and red mountains. It truly looks something like out of a Dungeons and Dragons manual or book, or one of Mandy's fantasy novels that she reads all the time. The entire visual
That
aesthetic...
she read all the time.
Yeah, the entire visual aesthetic of this film is so unique and so impressive. I mean, I said it earlier, it's our world, but it's not.
Right.
It's America, but it's not America. He truly created his own little universe here, which you got to respect that. After another anime sequence where we see a naked Mandy pull a shiny green jewel out of a slain monster's chest. Hey, we didn't see that in ski school.
No. Sadly.
Is that heavy metal reference? Don't they pull like a green...
Well, there's an orb that floats
Don't they
around
pull a green
forever.
orb out of somebody in heavy metal?
Yes.
Okay. Did they do that in ski school?
No.
No. Red wakes up on the shore of a beautiful creek. He makes his way over to a cliff's edge and he sees that the Colt's base camp is down below. In fact, their van is just pulling away. So Red places some giant tacks in the road. He took those from the Cenobites, the demons. When he got his shit, he threw a bunch of their shit into his bag too. These huge tacks, which they would use, because remember Bill Duke said they trapped truckers and all that. He puts these huge tacks in the road, and they pop all four tires on the van. Brother Swan gets out to check the damage. This seems highly inconvenient. I love this guy. And immediately Red headbutts him, throws his body against a tree. Mandy burned brightly, Swan says, but better to burn out than to fade. Red cuts that shit short, that tired Neil Young lyric, by shoving the sharpened handle of his battle axe straight down Swan's throat. Don't you dare drop that Neil Young shit on me. Fuck you.
I do like the fact that Swan went down talking shit the entire way.
Well, I was just I really wanted Red to be like, you know what? I was gonna let you live, but I fucking hate Neil Young.
Hey, my, fuck you. But you know what? It's funny you say that, Tut.
I was born in Alabama, you fuck.
We'll learn at the end of this film, Jeremiah's disciples died hardcore, speaking the thing. He's the one, the leader.
That's the way most authoritarian personalities are.
Sister Lucy steps out of the van and quietly approaches, but Red spares her for some reason. He doesn't kill her. I'm not sure that I would have. I think I would have gone ahead and just...
Well...
You were part of this group. You killed my wife. Fuck you.
You were there.
Battle axe in the head. I think I would have killed her.
I think it implies that she's standing there and she's crying. But I think it's that she's crying because she realizes she's free. Like, she didn't want to be there.
That's how I think Red read it.
Yeah.
She's free from these guys. But if I'm tied up in barbed wire and my wife just got burned alive and a chick put her bullet to click to pledge her allegiance to this guy, I'm probably going to kill her. Yeah. But he didn't. She goes free. Red then slinks back down into the cult's campgrounds. It's dark now, and he expertly throws his battle axe. We see it through the air, which lands squarely in the top of Brother Klopek's skull. He was waxing that station wagon.
It was actually a really cool scene with him waxing the station wagon.
Waxing that station wagon. Cage throws that battle axe, and it just lands right in the top of his head. A huge fountain of blood goes out. It's a great kill scene.
The funny thing is that while he's waxing that car, I'm like, I can believe that.
Yeah, they want to keep it looking nice.
I could.
Family truckster. Well, it doesn't matter now. He's dead. As Red marches forward, he sees a chainsaw lying on the ground. This is still logging country, after all. And he ditches his battle axe in favor of his more familiar weapon. But as he tries to rev it up unsuccessfully, one of the other brothers hears him, and he starts up the world's largest chainsaw. Holy shit! What was the span on this chainsaw?
No. They're actually that's a
I know it's
that's
realistic,
a functional
5 feet.
chainsaw.
Yes.
Was it a 5 feet blade?
Yes.
And it starts right up.
Yeah, Red's got like a 2.5 foot blade, and this dude's got like a 5 foot blade.
Oh my god! And it fires up, and he starts coming at Red. And Red's just trying to get going. Finally gets it going. They have a dude. We're in the middle of an old-fashioned chainsaw fight, boys. How many have we have those on the show?
2.
Chainsaw Massacre 2.
This is our second one.
Dennis Hopper.
And
this is
Running Man. Buzzsaw.
Yeah, but wait.
Yeah, but that wasn't 2 chainsaws going
all right,
at it.
this is our first with 2 chainsaws. Okay.
No, second with 2 chainsaws.
They bash chainsaws back and forth for a while until Red loses his, and just as the brother marches in for the kill, Red grabs a giant steel chain, lassos it around his neck, yanks him down. He falls on Red's chainsaw, and just fountains of blood just start splurting all over the goalie.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was nice. Red looks up to see the glowing cross atop the makeshift church temple down the goalie, and he moves forth. I say makeshift church, but this building is actually pretty impressive. It's like a pristine, perfectly constructed wooden barn, kind of like the Amish we saw this shit in Pennsylvania. I mean, the beams are like it's deep and the perfect beams, only with neon red light. Red makes his way into the deep structure, tosses the leather-bound, I guess it was a regular Bible, on the altar. This guy's weird, but I guess it's still the Bible that they go to. Tosses it off the altar, and then Red heads down into the sub-level of the church. Exhausted, he stumbles through the tunnel after tunnel. We just see this guy going. These guys have dug I guess they were existing mines, probably.
Yeah.
Until he comes across a dead end where Mother Marlene is hanging out. Remember that old white-haired, long-haired, can satisfy anyone's. It's actually a cool little spot. She's got like a little lamp down there, and then she's got the Miami palm tree wallpaper like Robert Loggia and Scarface. Remember in Robert Loggia's Scarface pad, he had that wallpaper? She's got that down there. She tells Red, I'm the world's most sensuous lover. I can anticipate my lover's every move. So Red says, fuck it, and they just start doing it. No, he doesn't. He somehow resists her old charms.
Somehow.
Her wrinkled old charms.
Oh, wait. That's because he separates her head from her body.
Well, no, we're getting that. We don't see that. He actually just denies her sexual... How does he say no to that? And he walks on. And I'm like, why the hell did he spare her? She was there for all this. Well, he doesn't. We then see Jeremiah, our main bad guy, gyrating his naked loins against the wall in another chamber. When he senses someone coming, come no closer. God is in this room. He calls that out not knowing who's coming. But when Mother Marlene's severed head gets tossed at his feet, it's pretty fucking clear that it ain't Brother Swan.
Nope.
Jeremiah's freaking the fuck out as Red steps out of the darkness. Jeremiah shifts gears and tells Red that you can't kill him, for Red you're just meat, with no soul, no brain, no anything. You're simply an animal with no spirit, no radiating light. You'll never understand the hallucinations that I see. As we cut back and forth between the men, the chamber is washed over in hot pink light, and then darkness, and then hot pink again. Suddenly we see Red's face, and he speaks in that garbled voice of the demons.
Yeah.
He tasted that demon juice, now he's talking like those dudes. The psychotic drowns where the mystic swims. You're drowning, I'm swimming. Jeremiah's livid. You unholy abomination, you aren't even worthy of my spit. It's all that hate in your heart, that's to blame, and it follows you everywhere, man. I love when he breaks free of the stuff to like...
Does the man
stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's controlling you, man.
It gets a little bit more human.
Yeah, he does that every once in a while, and it helps the character immensely. But I can still help you. Not only save your life, but I can save your goddamn soul, man. Red reaches forward and grabs Jeremiah's head on both sides. As Red squeezes Jeremiah's skull, Jeremiah shifts gears once again, telling him it was all part of Red's spiritual journey to make it his way to him. Then, when that doesn't do the trick, he offers to suck Red's dick. I'll blow you, man. I'll suck your dick. Whatever you want.
And
tell me you hated that, and I'll kick you in the nuts. I love this shit. This is a guy, God among gods, realizes, oh shit.
The end's here, so he's just reaching for fucking anything.
This is your spiritual journey, man. That's not working. Okay.
My favorite thing was
I brought you here through this. That's not working. I'll suck your dick, man.
My favorite thing was had Red gone. Okay.
Oh no, this movie's so crazy. I halfway thought he was gonna bang Mother Marlene. Like, all right, well, if you can anticipate my every move, I'll call you on that. All right, he didn't do that. When he was like, "I'll suck it, man," I was like, he's totally undoing his. He's dropping trowel. He's totally gonna get blown by this guy. This movie, it would have been believable.
Yes, would have been. In this movie, yes.
We'd be having a very different conversation right now,
but no, he doesn't drop trowel. So Jeremiah then tries one final audible. Oh my God, this guy's all over the place. I'm your God. Okay, I'll suck your dick. This is crazy. He's now down on his knees and he screams, I don't kneel before you. You kneel before me. I carry God's gift in my heart, not you. So you kneel before me, motherfucker. To which Red says in a very demonic voice, I'm your God now. And he squeezes that fucker's head Friday the 13th part 3 style until his eyeballs blurp out of his head. Ooze shoots out of his head. And then Cage gives out almost an orgasmic...
It is a very orgasmic...
It is. He orgasms as he kills Jeremiah. It's a climax.
Yep.
It's a climax to the film, and it's a literal climax from Red. Red flicks open a Zippo and burns the fucking wooden temple to the ground. As he walks away from the flames and the madness, he has a flashback to the first time he laid eyes on Mandy in a nightclub. He's wearing that 44 t-shirt. That's why it means so much to him. That's the shirt he was wearing when he met her. As he drives off in the Colt station wagon, he looks over and he sees Mandy's ghost riding shotgun with him. She's smoking a cigarette. She looks just like Mandy. And for a second, Red looks just like Red. He's still wearing the same clothes, but he's not bloody. He's not covered. He's looking at her, and then all of a sudden it dawns on him what I just did. She's gone. We go back to Red, and he's completely covered in blood, and his eyes are big as fucking saucers. Like, what the fuck last 48 hours did I do?
I don't know. Maybe it was the tortilla-sized chips of cocaine I was snorting.
Well, then he snaps out of it.
I really wish in this scene that she would have been burnt to a crisp right before it flashes back to him, covered in blood, big eyes.
He only sees the Mandy that he remembers.
Well, I know that, but I would have at least appreciated the it's not what you remember. This is what it is.
No, I think the fact that he actually achieved the revenge across the board, that's his reward, is he has that moment in the car where she's like he remembers her smoking a cigarette and looks normal.
Exactly.
I think it would have been weird if she was burned. He saw that already.
Because to me, that would have been like, yeah, it was great. This is what you remembered. Yeah, this is great. You got your revenge. For what? She's a crisp. You're fucking caked in blood.
He'll get to that later. He'll get to that after the film is over. Then he snaps out of it, bloody, crazy, coked out eyes, and he drives out of the gully, which, with a giant planet overhead, I think her favorite planet, Saturn, we see over the gully, and huge, jagged, colorful rocks. It now looks exactly like an illustration from one of her fantasy novels, a D&D novel, as he drives out of the gully. The end.
Yay, it's finally over.
Yep. I get the sense I like this movie a little bit more than you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I think you like it a little more after talking about it than you did on viewing.
There's a little bit there, but not enough.
Let me just say this. Director Panos Cosmatos has said that both Mandy and his first film, Beyond the Black Rainbow, helped him work through his parents' death. Both his mom and his dad died. And like many revenge stories, Mandy is about a man dealing with grief by trying to regain some control over the world. I can see this. When you've lost your only personal, physical, spiritual anchor to the world, all rules and common sense are kind of thrown out the window.
Yeah.
And this is just a highly artistic, dramatic as shit demonstration of that. Upon losing Mandy in the impactful way he did, and being tortured himself to the brink of death, Red is just pure feral rage with only one real outlet, revenge. Without revenge, he's literally has nothing left in the world. If he doesn't do this, he's got nothing. She's gone. Hence the screaming orgasm at the end. You know, who knows? He's not going anywhere after this. He's done.
Yeah.
Man, boys, I don't get off on surreal cinema like I did in my 20s and early 30s. I used to eat this shit up. The more dissolves and music montages and color crazy. I used to just live on this shit. I don't so much anymore, but for some reason this movie worked for me. Agree to disagree? You have to say something eventually.
No, I'm doing the Red scene in the chemist lab.
It doesn't play well on a podcast.
Oh man, this movie has wronged you.
It's not that bad. It was a good movie. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. It was the most
It was
boring.
a very personal, very cathartic, very... God bless this guy for getting the funds and the resources.
It was 2 hours
make
that
a
I'm
movie
never
that-
getting back. It was boring. I'm sorry. It was fucking boring.
You've done a lot worse with 2 hours. You've watched Fast and Furious movies. You watch Transformers movies.
I'm sorry. I will watch No, I'm sorry. I watched anytime Tokyo Drift comes on. I'm watching that shit.
Did you spend 2 hours watching a Transformers movie?
Depends. Maybe the first one.
All right, then. I don't want to hear any bitching.
At least the first one was somewhat entertaining.
Yikes.
This had probably about, thanks to Nicolas Cage, thanks to Bill Dukes, it had about 20 minutes of entertaining movie.
Every movie's not made to entertain. Some movies are made to make you feel. Some movies are made to make you drop into someone else's viewpoint.
Oh, I'm sorry, War and Peace. You're a 40-day. You're a 40-day read that's been critically acclaimed. Guess what? You're boring as fuck. And this movie is boring as fuck. And that is even considering that Nicolas Cage is going full-blown Nicolas Cage in it.
Man, he really excuse me. I thought Nicolas Cage turned on Nicolas Cage when it helped. I thought he turned off Nicolas Cage when it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
I thought he was great in this.
No, here's the one thing that
I thought it was a masterclass in
here's the one thing that I'll
lead
say
actor.
about,
He rocked.
Here's the one thing that I'll say about Cage, and I've often kind of wondered about, like, all right, you said earlier at one time this was the action guy, this was Con Air,
He was the #1 box office guy in the world.
And so when you see him in these little art flicks,
Which he started out with doing these art flicks.
yes, he did. There's a conversation I had with someone. We were talking about Face Off, and they were like, "Oh, could you imagine as John Travolta in those roles reversed, and John Travolta playing Cage, and Cage being the bad guy, just crazy because Cage is great crazy." And I'm like, Travolta couldn't pull off the range that Cage displayed in Face Off. They were perfectly cast because Cage is a better actor. He could pull off the subtle shit. The love that you feel between him and the crazy waif girl, that's because of Cage. I mean, Cage is a great actor. He's a good actor.
Yes. What's your favorite Nicolas Cage movie? Don't say Raising Arizona.
Well, you just took out.
I took your favorite movie away.
It's a fantastic movie.
It is. You know what my favorite? Because it's so unlike anything he'd ever done. And our buddy Joe and I worked at the movie theater when this came out. And we sat every night. The last show, we would go in and sit in this movie and just laugh our asses off. And just soak in Nicolas Cage. Because it was like nothing we'd ever seen him do. And he just... It was one of my first experiences seeing an actor just become a character. Kiss of Death.
Oh.
When he's that fucking low-level gangster. And he put on like 40 pounds of muscle. And he was just this crazy fucking... Did you ever see Kiss of Death?
I'm not sure if I
We'll do it on the podcast, man. It is so good, and the Cage is just unlike anything you've ever seen him before. But that's why I love it, because it was completely different than anything I'd ever seen. And it was still crazy. It still had the Nicolas Cage touches, but it was like nothing I'd ever seen him in before. Rent Kiss of Death.
As crazy as it sounds, might be Con Air. And I know that's a weird one because it's like Blockbuster and all this shit. There was a range of Cage between, father drama that I loved, and then action response, just going with what the environment gives him.
Huh?
I loved it.
Was that his first action, like big time action?
It was
Bruckheimer action movie.
Was that before Face Off or after?
I think that was after.
Yeah.
I think it was after Face Off.
I think
Because Face Off, I think he did an excellent job.
Kind of introduced it, but I think then Con Air, I think, went into The Rock.
Yeah.
Right.
Which went into like Gone in 60 Seconds, which went into the National Treasure movies.
Yes.
I never saw any of those. Were they good?
I like the first one. I love the first one, the National Treasure first one.
They are
But I mean,
Well, classic
Cage wasn't
treasure hunting
Cage
movies.
wasn't anything special in National Treasure. It was just a fun story. In
How did he never play a villain in a superhero movie?
He should.
He should have been the toy maker.
Well, no, there was wasn't he supposed
Easily.
to be in like one of the Supermans? He was like,
No, he was going to be Superman.
yeah,
He was in Kevin Smith. He was supposed to be Kevin Smith's Superman.
Yeah.
That would have been horrible.
yes.
Oh yeah.
The thing that I
No
I
questions
appreciate
asked on
with
that one.
Con Air is that with him playing opposite of Steve Buscemi as like the Hannibal Lecter child molester crazy guy,
Yeah.
you can't out crazy Buscemi. You just can't.
Yeah.
You just put a still photo of Buscemi and he's going to out crazy you.
Yeah.
So Cage can't go to the Cage I'm crazy part. But there was a range within that cheap blockbuster action flick that I loved that Cage was able to pull off. And to me, that takes a lot of talent
Oh,
to
he
do.
does. Did you see Road Rock West
Yes. Yeah.
with Dennis Hopper?
Yeah.
Where he was the wife tried to get him to get into the. It's kind of a noir.
Yeah. With Dwight Yoakam.
Dwight Yoakam was in that. That's right. He's so good in that. I mean, the guy has been just solid for so many years. I love the fact that at this point in his career, he's doing stuff like this. He's done a lot of weird, bad stuff, but I think this is the good stuff he needs to do. And I thought he was one of the strongest things about this movie.
Oh, he was.
But at the
He
same
was.
point, every actor in this thing was so good.
They were actually really
Every
good.
single actor in this delivered. So I got to give credit to the director for bringing that home. And granted, the first 30 minutes were slow as molasses, but once it got going, I thought it was, it had a lot of the stuff I liked. It had the Turbo Kid, the 80s,
Right.
bring in the apocalyptic bikers and the demons and the fun stuff. I thought once the action got going, especially towards the end with the fight scenes, I thought it was. I don't know why I had such a problem with it. I
Because
thought
the pace was all wrong.
it was pacing wise. It
The
was
pace was all wrong throughout the entire
yeah,
movie.
Well, I was okay with it. I'm going to give Mandy a thumbs up.
I'll give it a thumbs down. I understand.
Yaks? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I don't know. I'm stuck in the middle.
I understand.
I like certain things about it. Like I said, the beginning, they really just sort of.
That's how the director chose to build their love story, and I get it through visuals and through slow stuff.
But even through the middle and the last part, I understand why the director did what he did, and I respect why he did what he did. But that doesn't negate my opinion that you gotta fucking tell an entertaining story.
I do. I'm going to give this one a pass. I'm going to give
Yeah.
this one as a personal project. And if what it says is true, this was him working through his parents' deaths artistically. Hey, man, you got somebody to fund it and you can do what you want to do. Hats off to you. I tried for years to get somebody to fund my therapy, and I didn't have any takers. So you know what? I all right. So we got one thumbs up, one thumbs down, one thumbs medium.
Yeah.
All right. I think the cigar we're all big
thumbs up,
thumbs
big
up.
thumbs up.
Yeah.
Did you fill out your form?
I did.
Beer,
Done.
big thumbs up.
The beer was just amazing as always. Thank you, Unibroue. God,
It's too good.
they know how to do it, man. They know how to do it. So
Movie
it's a good night.
always is.
This film reminded me a lot. I told you guys on break of our breakdown of Nomads early in the day.
Love it.
A weird film.
Love it.
A weird film where we just kind of just really went at it and tore our teeth at it and just kind of got at, just did what we do big time on steroids. We just tear this movie apart. We got to do it every once in a while.
Yes.
I want to do more of it.
I had fun tonight, boys. Thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you for not turning it off after the first 30 minutes and venturing forth.
Well, there's always.
We are
another-
professionals.
Next episode, boys, we will have the doctor here. It'll be our Christmas double feature.
Oh God.
Mandy 2.
No, we will be.
Mandy Electric Boogaloo.
We're going to be recreating our phenomenal double feature from last Christmas, the Anna Nicole Smith Chantwy double feature with another Anna Nicole Smith Chantwy double feature. Only this one,
Just when I thought we were getting a little bit of respectability.
well, that's why I got to step in. No.
Hold your horses on that
No.
respectability. Here
It's gonna-
comes Anna Nicole Smith.
It is going to be
Oh,
a
shit.
phenomenal. Dude, that's her catchphrase in this next film. Oh shit! She says it literally 1,000 times.
Oh shit!
Oh shit! Oh shit! That's her yippee ki yay, motherfucker.
Well, it isn't the same if you say it like a gajillion times.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I broke my nail. Oh shit!
Yippee-ki-yay,
Oh,
motherfucker.
Terrorists are shooting at me. Oh
Yippee-ki-yay,
shit!
motherfucker.
It's gonna be a great show. You guys will love it. Links.
At TNCCcast for Twitter. Hit us up on Instagram, TNCC_podcast. Go to the Facebook, Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Join us on YouTube, Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Did I leave anything out?
I saw a lot of people join us lately on YouTube.
Yeah, they have.
I noticed our episodes have been getting a little more views on YouTube.
A little
So
bit more
always a good
playback.
maybe they like seeing Cody fall asleep and us spill beers. And you get it all. You get it all. You get the handsome new Tuesday Night Cigar Club hoodie. Where can you get that, Todd?
You can get the handsome Tuesday Night Cigar Club hoodie on
Whatever. I've heard it both ways.
TuesdayNightCigarClub.com.
We have 2 more episodes. We're going to do the double feature, and then we're going to do one more show with guest star Steve Saka.
What?
Oh,
The Sasquatch.
The Saka
Saka
Squatch is going to be in the house for our last show of the year. We're going to record it in 2 weeks. We're going to have Steve in the house. We haven't had him here in a while. He asked us in Vegas, when the hell are you going to get me back on there? We kind of were giving up on the cigar interviews, but like when Saka Squatch says get me on your show, you get him on the show. So that'll be a fun one. So yeah, we'll finish the year strong. Boys,
Yo,
any last words?
no. I'm done. Out of here.
Should people go to O'Brien's Irish Pub in downtown historic Temple, Texas?
yes, they should.
You got live music coming up?
Yes, we do.
You got drink specials?
Yes, we do.
Ladies' night?
No.
But you got drink specials.
Yes.
And Unibroue on tap. No,
Other things.
but
on
drink
tap.
specials.
Yes.
And food.
And food.
Authentic Irish cuisine.
Correct.
Yummy
At any
food.
hour of the day till 2 a.m. you can order
Shepherd's pie.
bangers and mash.
Fish and chips.
a sampler platter
A sampler platter.
No
with-
substitutions.
with substitutions.
You don't get those.
I get substitutions.
No, you
our
don't.
listeners do not, but I
You
get
c-
them.
You can
No.
get substitutions.
I don't get a substitution?
You can get substitutions.
You can't get those.
All these years I don't get substitutions.
No.
All right, just this once.
No.
He said it. It's in solid. Boys, thank you for joining me tonight. This is, like I said, you guys are my second family, and I always feel so much better and warmer after sitting at the table with you guys. So, and turns out I drank a shitload of beer. Turns out you drank a shitload of beer.
Well,
You got some catching up to do.
Yeah. Always.
What do I say at the end of every episode?
may the wings of liberty.
May the wings of liberty. It's a joke at this point, but let's just keep going. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather. All those feathers are gone. It's hopeless. We're screwed.
No.
Sayonara, motherfuckers.
To learn more about the time I went on a blood-soaked cross-country mission of revenge, leaving nothing but severed limbs and heartache along the way, please watch my new experimental short film, Dandy. Nobody calls Keith A. Howell a dandy and gets away with it. And I mean nobody. So if you see me wearing a top hat in the Panda Express drive-thru line, I'd advise you to just keep your comments to your motherfucking selves. And in the meantime, to learn more about the cigars and other libations enjoyed on tonight's episode, you can visit www.blacklabeltrading.com and www.unibroue.com. For more on O'Brien's Irish Pub, the live music leader in Central Texas, please visit o'brienstemple.com and download their free smartphone app, where you'll find full beer listings including over 40 on tap, menu information, and a calendar of upcoming live events. To listen and purchase music heard on tonight's program, check out www.fritzbeermusic.com. Thank you for listening to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. This is Keith A. Howell saying until next time, friends, unless we see you sooner at the pub. So keep it smoky, and for God's sake, keep it ballsy as well.